Damn, Gary, some serious gourmet shit. What flavor is this?
That's right, it's the all-hell medium roast private blend. Check out the Geek Grind Coffee Nerdrotic page for our other options like the Decadent, Feathers of Liberty, vanilla-infused flavored coffee. Or if you're looking for something darker, try the Dark Roast FNT blend of the Fellowship. You know what? Just buy all three. GeekGrindCoffee.com. Use discount code Nerdrotic.
I am a great man, I need a great woman like Michelle Obama standing behind me.
That was quite an intro.
Put a Dan in it and make him lame and gay.
Is it that time of the month there?
Maybe it's our time. So. It's our time of the week. Yeah, Friday Night Tights. Welcome, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. Back at home. It's kind of nice. Back at home in front of my Christmas tree. I've got my Pander Stone that was sent to me by Radio Man that actually lights up.
Wow.
I will not abuse the power much. And no Jeremy. Jeremy's on assignment, and we do have to acknowledge the passing of our friend. Rest in peace, Az. R.I.P. F's in the chat. Poor Az.
Yes, I'm out.
Scheduled to load the tweets. Clarifying whether or not that's true.
I would say he'll be missed.
You would say it.
I would say it if it were true. Yeah.
Yeah. That's true.
So everybody in the audience, go to his Twitter and just give him a nice message, you know, and posterity there.
Yeah.
He's going to be so pissed at you.
His manager will apply to it. You know. It's
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. It's fine.
It's an in memoriam page now.
Yeah.
What's up, Ryan Kinnell from RK Outpost?
Not much, Gary from Nerdrotic. I'm doing great. So much wild shit going on in entertainment right now as we close up this year. I was just looking at the projections for Aquaman 3. It's like, God, that movie.
Aquaman 3.
Sorry, Aquaman 2. Yeah, I'm looking way ahead. I'm looking way ahead.
That's a ways out
for
to
having
project.
Aquaman 3.
But
So excited.
to close out the year of superhero disasters and close out the DCEU permanently, what a perfect way to end the
So
year.
it's such a he's like, wait for me. I haven't come out yet. I'm embarrassing too.
Yeah, don't forget about me. And Amber Heard, even though you could forget about her if you just watch the trailers. But yeah, I'm ready to rock and roll. Let's
Hell
go.
yeah. Quarterback Garrett.
Yo, what's up? I'm ready to talk. We got a lot of stuff, actually. We had Zegler's back in the news. Pedro Pascal's doing stuff. The Marvels just ended its run just gloriously. So, yeah, let's go. I'm ready.
To be fair, it's still in theaters. Disney's just given up on it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, at
Not gonna wait for Christmas. No.
Open bar yesterday. I think the Monday it did like $83 per theater. 83 or 84
Thursday was 87. Yep.
87.
Wow, that is awful.
I think that includes like refreshments bought with.
Maybe. Somebody worked. What did they worked that out to like? That's about 3 people a theater. That's too many.
For 80s, I mean, tickets are probably like $13, $14 a pop or whatever
maybe
right now.
4.
So it's probably less.
If you need a room to jack it and you want nobody
You
there,
need some privacy.
get some privacy. You got a space.
What's up, Shad? How you feeling?
Well, Shad's away sick. This is Shad's AI avatar version.
Okay.
So we'll see how well I perform.
Well, you might perform pretty well because a little later we have some AI from Echo Chamberlain I want to play. That's that I know you'll love. That should be frightening to everybody.
I'm sure. Absolutely.
Well, welcome,
wait.
AI Shad.
Good to be here.
Test me really as an AI. What's the square root of an isosceles triangle?
I'm sorry. I'm not programmed to be able to answer all these questions. That could lead to anti-Semitic something.
Something or other. Yeah.
Nice dodge.
Hello, Odin.
What's up? Exams are next week, and I'm so excited for Christmas break to be very near at hand. So let's get started.
Oh my God, school.
Have you been studying?
Yeah.
That's right.
No, I'm the one who's writing the exam in this situation.
Ugh,
Yeah.
dirty teacher.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
So glad I'm not in school anymore. But it
You
has.
might
been-
enjoy my class.
Well, I mean, they didn't have schoolhouses. I was in a cave when I was in school, so it's all good.
You get the
Hello.
homework now, Gary.
Yep. I'm almost as old as you. What's up, Comics Division?
Hello, Gary. Wow, there are a lot of pissed off Doctor Who fans out there.
Yes, there are.
I'm just confused at the moment. I watched that a week ago. I still don't understand the plot. It
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's been
But-
pretty entertaining.
From what I understand, listen, you guys know I'm a big Whovian myself.
Yes.
But as I understand, the plot is now trans people good, white man bad,
Yes.
and now white man now gay white man. So he's a little bit better.
But still
If he
bad?
was straight white man, he'd be very bad. That's what I understand. Am I on board?
You're not too
Well, yeah,
far
I
from
mean-
the truth, Ryan.
The plot of this episode
Isaac
is
Newton
essentially-
Brown.
Yes.
Yeah. The most random thing ever, just thrown in at the start of the episode and never mentioned again. I thought that was going to be the plot of the episode. It's not, no.
I thought they'd fuck with time. I thought they changed the timeline and a
Oh,
bunch
you
of shit.
sweet
happened.
summer child.
Well, they used the word navity quite a lot. That was
That's
just
what
to
I
remind
thought.
you of what happened at the start of the episode.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
it's been pretty interesting.
If
I
they're
just
gonna
like that the main
if
plot
they're
line
gonna
was
change him, if they're gonna change freaking Isaac Newton into being Indian or whatever, at least like change. It shouldn't be like the apple. It should be like he realized like the shit goes right into the ground, like just right into the hole, and be like, I discovered gravity.
yeah.
Well, the funny thing
Or
about it
gravity.
too is they have to keep reminding you that he's supposed to be hot, and that's the thing. It's funny. It's like the first thing with Rose. Oh, she's beautiful. You're like, is she really?
Well,
Same
yeah, it should
thing.
be self-evident.
Well,
like,
yeah,
you
it
should
really
be thinking
should
that
be.
yourself if it was true.
You know what they didn't have to do, and I mean, obviously, a BVS pretty controversial move, but you know what they didn't have to do was tell you, hey, look how hot Gal Gadot is.
Yeah.
They didn't have to verbalize that. I think
Well,
it
it's like
just
the
came
same thing
across
with
to
Martha
people.
Jones. You don't have to remind the audience that she's hot because you can actually see that she's hot.
They don't really care. Well, for one, they know it's
Yes.
not hot, and it was the point they were trying to make. It wasn't even the observation.
Double speak, man.
Well,
Did
It's
they really.
you ever read
they
this
really
book?
nail
It's
it
called
home.
1984.
As a matter of fact,
heard
Garrett,
of it.
I have not. I've never read the book.
Yeah. Oh, you should
try
read it.
You should read it.
Yeah. But no, the main plot of this episode was we need to know how not to think, which was pretty impressive. And at one point, wasn't there a line, the human species is incredible because they can hold two entirely contradictory ideas in their head at the same time. I'm like, no, that's not a good thing. That means that one of them is wrong and you believe it. That's a horrific thing. It's not a talent. It's like,
yeah,
no,
it's-
that's not a virtue.
I'm pretty sure that's in 1984, the book I've never read.
So,
Like it seems very in line with
well,
the people writing it. Like
yeah,
Yeah.
we'll
they-
take a look
their
at the
philosophy.
new. There's 2 new clips that came out over the last 24 hours. We'll take a look at the first one later, which some people are interpreting as a shot at fans and something else, and some people are saying you're just seeing things. And spoilers, I don't think anybody's seeing things at this point. Okay, I think they've been pretty clear with their agenda
Yeah.
and not really subtle. So, I mean, I don't know what you're holding out hope for at this point, but we'll talk.
Well,
about
where
it.
SOT Davies did like a whole
talk
interview
about
talking about how it is about indoctrination.
Yeah.
So
And how he wants to piss off hardcore fans.
Yes.
I mean, why say that out loud?
I haven't tried it before as a strategy.
It's a strategy.
That's
It's a
bold,
strategy.
it works.
I wish I had people that were at least clever enough to keep their mouths shut. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah.
Hello, Chrissy Mayer.
Hello, it's so great to be here. Thank you to everybody who came out to my show at the Tampa Side Splitters. Yes, came out. It was a like arrived.
Yes.
Show in Tampa this past Sunday. It was so fun. Quite a few people I recognized from the fellowship, people I recognized from various megacons, particularly in Orlando. So that was really fun. Thank you everybody who came out. Very excited to go to the Turning Point USA AmFest with Ryan next weekend.
That's
nice.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, we were both
me and
guests
Chrissy-
of honor.
Yeah, special guests at TPUSA AmFest in Phoenix, Arizona, December 16th through 19th. And I don't know, Chris, are you going to do anything else while we're there?
I think we have if you really are contemplating going, I think I may have a discount code. Maybe Ryan, they've given you one too. We are going to try to work out how we're going to live stream from the event. I think Ryan and I may share a booth or a table or something.
Yeah, we'll work it out. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I'm sure we'll be out on the town doing something. Chrissy won't be drinking probably,
No.
but I will.
I don't know how I'm going to get through it.
I know, right?
I always thought Doctor Who was like a sitcom about dementia patients in the nursing home. So I'm just learning a lot.
Well,
Yeah, at this point, you're probably not wrong, Chrissy.
Yeah, that's
Doctor.
sounds like
Who?
it's not too far.
I feel like that's where Russell T Davies is gone. So here, trying to do two things at once. I'm not very good at it. Hey,
I saw someone in the chat said, hey, at least if Chrissy can't drink, Ryan will have a designated driver. I would trust a drunk person over a woman driving. Just
Wow. At least I'm not
There it is.
Asian.
Could be worse.
It could be.
Wait till I'm old.
speaking of Asian,
People.
Exodus Agu.
Hello.
Did you like Gojira?
I love Godzilla. I also forgot I starred in that movie, so make sure you guys go watch it, huh?
She played all the parts.
played
She
all
did a
the
good
parts.
job. Yeah,
That's
Should we
range.
Godzilla?
That's versatile.
Yeah.
I know.
she's like the Asian Jerry Lewis. You know.
That's
She's-
why the budget was so
Oh,
small.
geez.
They only had to pay one actor.
That's right.
Daddy.
But it was really good. I actually really like that movie. So if you guys haven't seen it, please watch it.
Still not.
It's not out in Australia. I'm so pissed. I want to watch
Nor
this thing.
Britain.
It's good. Like I was shocked by how good it was and how invested I was in the characters, even though I
cried
had to
so many
read everything
times.
they said.
Oh my god.
Sounds great. I wish I could watch
At
it.
least you didn't have to read it to drunk 3PO. So.
I was invested even though I had to read. Have you heard of a book?
I like it when the pictures tell me what they're thinking. I don't want to have to read it.
This is America.
That's right.
read.
But like the
got a
reality
reader
is
here,
like
boy.
the fact that we have a fully Japanese
We got
movie
us a reader.
made on a $15 or $20 million budget that is topping the box office right now. Oh, and by the way, Thursday Previews is another Japanese movie. They might go 1 and 2 this weekend.
I sure hope.
That'd be
Hey, as long as they keep
brilliant.
making great movies, like let's go.
Yeah,
Honestly,
Miyazaki came out of retirement to make The Boy and the Heron, and it's doing pretty well right now.
Oh yeah,
It's
that does
gonna do better than Black Girl and a Goat, that's for sure.
Joining us once again for the entire month since As died is Disparu. What's up, buddy?
Hello, yeah, great to be back again. You know it is. Sometimes you run out of video ideas, but then Rachel Zegler decides to do a stream with Halle Bailey even. And it like I don't even have to watch that video to know it's going to be great to actually make a video out of.
It served right up
Honestly, like,
for you.
I've seen like 10 seconds of a clip, and I'm like, this is gonna be gold.
Oh no shit! Like when I saw that Bob Iger interview last week, I'm like, yes, thank you,
Thank you, Bob.
thank you, Bob. Looking forward to it. We're gonna go over a little bit of that audio today. That you guys went over it on Daily, and it was it's hilarious. It's pretty hilarious. Somebody gave her a talking to. She definitely got a talking to. Was it her agent? Was it Disney? I don't know. I don't care. It's funny. MauLer. I've talked to you like a lot this week, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we've been hanging out. We finally got the thing we've been talking about done, so we'll talk about that a bit later. Though a couple people have already figured it out because it's right next to a certain anniversary of a certain beloved thing. But yeah, that's just been me now. The last few weeks, just nonstop editing on that and other things. So it's nice to be here, to chill out, to talk about current events, to see how everything's doing.
Smoking crater that is entertainment.
It is. So later on, we're going to announce what that is. And we got a couple of announcements later on. Hour 2, probably. Because I've got my publisher getting all antsy. So I have to do stuff. They don't understand that I run on my own time, man. I don't, Melissa's actually handling it all. So we're going to talk about the book that, I'm pretty much involved in, but not in this aspect. And this is all new to me, by the way. They're like book sizes and,
all the post work on it.
Yeah. Editing. I mean, it's a nightmare for them. So, but that's why they're getting paid. All right. So first thing we're going to cover is what should it be?
What should it be?
Let's do Rachel. Screw it.
Yeah. Rachel
Zegler made quite a name for herself, not in the movies she was in because she was in a bunch of flops. On the red carpet, you may have known a few people here might have made a couple of videos about the subject. And she pretty much torpedoed Snow to the point where they had to delay it till 2025. Well, they weren't finished shooting, and it was the strike, and I'm sure it had nothing to do with they want a year separated from her comments. I bet you it's all three of those things, to be honest with you.
Probably.
Yeah, if you remember, she was in London to do significant reshoots on the movie when the strike happened. Like the crew had just got to London to do it, and they were like filming those pickup shots when they leaked from the Daily Mail. They hadn't finished filming this thing yet.
No. So they're rushing back to principal, and they just ratified the actors. The Film Actors Guild just ratified their agreement like 2 days ago, which is crazy. So with
some weird clauses, like they got 120 million instead of their subscriber levy that they wanted to do, which is less than the 150 million they got offered from their own members.
I know, that's hilarious.
And the lead negotiator,
legally, they
the bloke. He said, "Well, we got 120. That's not 500." I'm like, "Well done. I'm glad you worked that one out."
Well, it might go farther because there'll be fewer people working. As we know, unemployment went down with the strike, and there was an article today that said, "Hey, it went up." Well, naturally, because everybody's back to work. But
the interesting thing about this is it's contingent. So they have to get over 50% of the subscribers to watch the thing, which is going to be a challenge in itself before they get any of that money. Whereas the actors were just going to pay extra. So
right. So and this employment didn't go. It's not up to 2022 levels as we predicted because it never will be. The bubble has burst. So
there's a bunch of articles out there like, why isn't there anything in production? Why isn't there anything being like, why aren't these writers, they can get back to work? Why aren't they pitching anything? The studios don't want anything right now.
They don't. They are pitching. They're just not listening. Oh, wow. That's a really strange headline.
That's
I don't even.
Strange headline.
That's kind of a fucked up headline.
Yes, it's a good thing. It's the season of giving thanks.
It is.
Look at that chicken breast down there.
Yeah.
I'm fucking hungry.
Yeah, that looks pretty
Grilled.
good.
Yes.
Yep.
Look at that unibrow. Oh, sorry.
Each to their own.
Hey, the thing you can say about Rachel Zegler
suppose.
said to Halle Bailey is at least her eyes are close enough to have a unibrow.
Ouch.
There.
That's kind of fucked up. That's
right.
Up.
That's
Not
right.
really.
Ryan's like, I'm letting you guys know about the comic because I don't like it.
Yeah. Kind of fucked up.
So has Zegler been cast in anything upcoming new, or are the studios abandoning her at this point?
She lost out on her job that she had for Paddington Bear, but that was probably just because of the strike and because of filming shifting for them.
They decided not to race swap the bear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know
Already
other
was a
than
brown
that.
bear.
I haven't heard about anything.
It's probably too
Yeah.
early to tell what's for that specifically, and then what's for other like more commonplace reasons.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see if she does land any significant roles coming up, because she's box office poison basically at this point.
Well, Hunger Games is having a decent hold, right? It had a really
Is it?
bad
Okay.
opening. It's having a really solid hold, but at the same time, right? I think $300 million is probably like the break even for this movie based on the amount of marketing it had and everything. So it has a chance to get there, but it's not doing crazy. It's not going to make like $500 million at the box office and make a huge profit, but it might break even. So, but that would be the first thing she's had that breaks even. It doesn't lose a shit ton of money like West Side Story or Shazam 2. So I think personally, I think a lot of it's riding on Snow White and what happens with Snow White in terms of what her future holds. This interview was, even though they said like really retarded shit, clearly like the tone of it is completely different than the way we heard her talk before. The way she's approaching everything, it was not this super cocky, arrogant fucking way that she appeared on the red carpet before. This is like Disney PR telling her, we need to rehabilitate. We need to address some of this stuff. We need to make you look a little bit different. I don't think a lot of people are going to buy it though.
Yeah, besides Snow White, she only has 2 other things, and that's it.
Wow.
Well, she is an actor, and so she's used to playing, a completely fake role. And so,
Yeah, you think, if you're an actor, you can continue to, well, that's what most of them do anyway. That's why they're adult pretenders. They don't really have their own personalities. They go and act on the red carpet and act at Jimmy Fallon and act in the movie. But when they go home, they're just a bunch of empty shells waiting for the next NPC download. You can run our video. Quarter Black.
They still haven't figured out which planet Jimmy Fallon's from yet.
that's one of the good things about social media, where it's actually exposed all these celebrities for who they really are.
And that's why the movie star is dead. We got to know him. We got to know
So
him.
she did a little interview there, the one-on-one with Fish Bitch and Snow White Bitch. So let's hear that.
The way you are just so graceful and respond and don't. Weird. It's just the most beautiful thing to see. Because it's hard being women under the spotlight. People are so critical.
It's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince.
Yeah, how has that been for you, being able to navigate it?
Choosing thankfulness and gratefulness is choosing peace.
The cartoon was made 85 years ago, and therefore it's extremely dated.
Shut up, bitch!
Wow, she's more feminine, less harsh looking and sounding. She's more subdued.
Everyone's so critical of you when you're a woman under the spotlight.
I know.
The
You
whole
just attack women.
No one's ever critical of men.
No.
What's up, Bob Iger?
Especially her. Right?
Yeah, right.
But the affirmation by them both, oh, you're so wonderful, you're so great.
Oh, you too.
Yes, queen.
It's like
Stand
just a bunch of like a couple 22-year-old girls telling each other how amazing they are and how hard life is, and how mean people are on the internet
In Hollywood.
Oh my god.
Well, what was it's not in? Maybe you could pull the interview
I got the full.
So
interview.
Ryan, you guys talked about it this morning. The part where she goes, "Well, she's like, but we're making a movie."
Yeah, she's like, sometimes I have to just remember that, they're probably just having a really rough day, and I'm making a movie. And,
Wow.
you know what I mean? And Halle
That's
Bailey's
like
like, that's
condescending.
right,
She's
girl.
like,
Amen.
yes,
Yeah.
Just look for Haley
The
Berry
way you
snapping.
are just so
This
great.
is it.
Yeah, she's like over here.
Spotlight verbally, that remind people verbally that being in the spotlight doesn't absolve you of your humanity, that you're allowed to have human
It's so
moments.
hard
Yes.
being an adult pretender.
Doesn't necessarily do what you want it to do, and it fuels them more.
Yes, exactly.
And so,
The audience.
just as you said, it's like choosing to be present and know that they're probably just having a really hard day.
Yes.
And I am putting out a movie.
Amen.
Is she wearing white
That's
tights?
right. And I
Maybe it's your movie causing it.
Yeah, and how did that movie
thankful
do?
for those moments because it started to make me feel like solid Teflon.
Yes.
That it can't really, that nothing can hurt anymore because
Amen.
they've said the worst
She's
that can
wearing
be said, and you just kind of
tights.
say thank you so much for this. I have a lot of love in my life.
Yes.
It really shows.
Yes.
It really shows.
It's totally.
You can
You
almost
remember
hear
when
the
she
Friday
started-
Night Tights theme
Hey!
under.
Yeah.
Remember when she
Her
did that
speech.
interview with Andrew Garfield where she said people need to be re-educated and then he
Yes.
went, loved in the right
Oh.
direction. It's like,
Yes.
yeah, we know what you think of people.
Remember when the aftermath of this, when she was like replying to people on Twitter, when she was retweeting things, shitting all over men and how men are to blame for everything, when she tried to play the victim over and over. Yeah, you could really tell how Teflon you were then, Rachel Zegler.
Yeah.
I mean, that came off so fake.
Of course.
Yeah.
This is, as Jay pointed out correctly, this is the woman who spearheaded the campaign against Gina. She was there. She was all about canceling Gina. But now she's choosing love and kindness in her life because her agent said she wasn't going to get any more work.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Disney has something to do with it too, because they've had a massive string of failures, and we all know at this point Snow White's probably going to tank as a result of her. So they need to rehab her image, much like what they did with
To be fair,
I
think
don't
it
know
was
if it's
gonna
going to be just her.
I think it was
It's
going to tank
Disney.
anyway.
Sucks.
Well, yeah, I mean, I agree because it looks like ass.
But it
and-
doesn't help. It doesn't help
No.
at all if
No,
your
it doesn't help, but
lead
I'm-
character comes out and goes, "Oh, well, the original movie is outdated and it's 85 years ago, and we're making it instead of Snow White dreaming about true love, which is somehow not a good thing now. She's dreaming about how much of a
Power.
leader she knows she can be."
But there's definitely parallels
Snow
between
White.
her and fucking Captain Marvel.
Oh,
Because she did the exact
absolutely.
exact same thing. So they're
like-
trying to rehab her image.
Hey, Rachel Zegler's worse.
I think she's
Yeah,
right.
these active
I think
things
she.
usually
that?
only have two people, but if you had fucking like a Norm Macdonald with him, who was like, "Yeah, we're just the best people ever, aren't we?" Cut in like that would be so fucking cool. But oh well.
Oh well.
Oh, wow.
Instead,
Yeah.
we get the same elitist snobbery that people are just as much rejecting. So it's like, I don't even know how much this is going to help because it's just going to make it worse. in the
I
long
don't
run.
even
it comes off as
understand
condescending.
why she has all this condescension and this like uppityness. Like you came out of nowhere 2 years ago. Was it because you went right in and were in a Steven
Wasn't she
Spielberg
on-
film?
Wasn't she in?
Yeah,
She's
Tuesday.
entitled and
Fast.
narcissistic.
Like entitled all the way. She
No,
came
she
in
was
and just
just-
expected to be treated like she's legendary. It's like, no, we don't know who you are.
She's 22.
She was
Yeah.
just like this in West Side Story, except there, people were going, "You're not Latino enough," and so she started to attack them and be like, "Well, what really is Latino?" I mean, if you notice, and has anyone ever heard her say in an interview that she's half Polish? No, because it's not beneficial
Doesn't
to her
matter,
within the
yeah.
It's not
industry.
beneficial.
Right.
So she only talks about how I'm Latino, and people are like, "Well, you're not Latino enough for me," and then it's a problem with them
Wait,
that they're
she's
now
half
discriminating
Polish?
against her, saying, "I'm not Latino."
makes-
It's all-
this makes way
think-
more sense
You think
now.
fucking Zegler is a Hispanic name?
A little bit
That
offensive they were saying
explains why
Latino,
she
not
can't
Latinx.
screw
Just
in a
saying.
light bulb.
Yeah.
What wasn't
Yeah, I
she?
think
a-
her
wasn't
her
she
dad
an-
is Polish and her mom is Colombian. I
Wasn't
think.
she an influencer or something?
She
Right?
was. I think
Before
she was
acting,
discovered
yeah.
on YouTube because she
Yeah.
just did like covers of songs and she
Mhm.
would sing on YouTube. So, I think that's how she was discovered. But I don't really know how much like an influence or whatever she was. I don't know how
Yeah.
big she was.
Yeah. Yeah.
But during West Side Story, she led this whole thing of, well, does it really matter? Aren't we all Latino, really? I mean, I might not be like fully
What?
Latino, I might not actually be Puerto Rican, but I
Aren't
still
we all
represent you,
Latino?
even though there's a bit
Well,
of
you know
me.
what?
And it's like,
Disparu, it
then
really
suddenly it matters.
it really mattered when the movie came out and they decided to go with the Spanish without subtitles. And it turns out not everybody was Latino and could understand it. Might have helped it flop a little bit, which is what they did. And Spielberg signed off on that too. We covered it here and said it was
Yeah.
stupid then, and it's still stupid. It's still
Speaking of stupid Latinas, Let's go with this. So he did a video on a lie detector test.
So fucking cringe.
It's pretty great. Asks some funny questions. So here we go.
Do you think you're a heartthrob?
I don't think
He's lying.
Really? Yes, I am. Yes, I'm a heartthrob.
Oh my
Am I
god.
lying? That's the truth. I'm a heartthrob.
Is it a lot of pressure being a heartthrob?
No.
Do you ever look at Instagram accounts devoted to you being a heartthrob when you're feeling down?
Yes, I do.
That's sad. Kind of funny.
Gosh.
That is funny.
That's funny.
What's your favorite account?
It's called Pedro Pascal fan account.
Original.
Wow.
Oh no.
Who would have thought Hollywood actors are just narcissists?
Okay, ladies.
It's like he confirmed it.
Ladies, we have 2 or 3 here. Is Pedro Pascal a heartthrob?
No.
Hang on.
No.
Hang on. Where's the
have
third lady?
I have seen streamers on Twitch call him daddy before.
That's about his politics. Like there are a lot of like very cringe like young people that I think they unironically simp for Pedro Pascal because he has all the right politics that they do. Not even
Probably.
fucking around.
No,
And it's weird because these are like 17-year-old girls or whatever. He's like 50 something, but
very strange.
And he looks 50. He looks kind of I'll say it like me, like a ragged 50. You know, like. But at least
maybe that's why they call him Daddy. He looks like everyone's dad. Daddy issues.
That's so much.
He doesn't I don't think he's ugly or anything. Like I don't think that, but it's not like he's
Like
not
Ryan would
some
fuck
fucking,
him, but you know.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
I mean, but it had to be after a few beers, right? So
Maybe it had
Not
to.
thinking
Yeah.
anything
or a long
How many
stretch, you know, or a long dry spell. But I don't think he's ugly. I just don't think he's definitely not a heartthrob. He's not like a
nothing
traditional.
throbbing.
Yeah,
I think
he's
it's
not
just funny that
traditionally
he
handsome or anything
thinks
like that.
he is deep down. He's like, yeah, I look good.
That
I
is
feel like he
what-
has
yeah.
to, you know.
Well, he's
Well,
wearing
that's what
like
they
a
always
pink
say is the
sweatshirt.
difference between men and women. Is women are always like, I don't like this weird like bit on my shoulder that no one else cares about. But every man looks in the mirror and goes, yeah, I've still got it. Like the elephant man was waking up and think, yeah, I still could if I wanted to. It's just the way men are.
I can go catch some.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pedro Pascal.
Pedro. Bro, do you remember that? Like when
Yes.
Pedro Pascal retweeted Jeremy's stream?
Yes.
Like and said, I like the way this guy says my name.
Pedro.
Really?
Pedro.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, it was in the middle of the.
No.
I think it was in the middle of Gina Carano. It was. I don't know if it was Gina Carano stuff or it was the Pedro Nazi shit. It was when Pedro posted the thing about Trump supporters being equivalent to Nazis.
Yeah.
That was when it happened.
And didn't get fired.
Didn't get fired, yeah,
Didn't get
for
fired.
equating half the country to Nazis. But yeah.
Well, it's because Disney still thinks that. In that Bob Iger interview, I guess during the protest for the parental rights bill, Bob Iger called it the Don't Say Gay bill, which is a lie. But they also wanted to really point out that there was some flags with a certain German, well, not German, but, National Socialist symbol on it. We'll
Old
say.
Egyptian symbol tilted a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh
I don't know.
my.
No, I don't think that's Egyptian. I think it's predated, actually. It's like into civilization. It's like India.
There's a guy
You
who
might be the
spray
expert,
painted
Gary.
it.
I don't know.
There is a man
Dinosaur
who spray
symbol.
painted that symbol on his driveway, but he said, "Oh, it's an old Egyptian symbol."
That's a T-Rex made that back in the day.
T-Rex empowerment.
How did he do it with little arms?
Let's just break open the like
Forbidden
they
Frontiers
find-
episod go.
That's right. Well,
Yeah.
no, apparently, New York.
Velociraptors are the original Nazis.
Was it
Next Jurassic Park movie is going to be
They all
wild.
have little mustaches.
Was it New York electricians who were putting an Egyptian symbol on? So Sarah Silverman thought it was an Egyptian symbol as well. Remember those
Right.
good old days.
Marking where the wires are under the concrete. Yeah. Real big brain.
Yeah. Well, she got big boobs, but not a big brain.
That's how it works.
It's a fair trade-off.
Yeah.
Hey, most of the time it is, to be honest with you. Let's be fair.
I was in the character creation screen. You got to put the points in something. So.
You do.
Slide that ticker all the way over.
Bus. Yeah.
we push one up, the other one goes down. You're like, oh, you keep trying to push the other.
It's the charisma stuff.
Oh my god, that would be so funny, dude. If that was actually a female created character, the higher you turn up intelligence, the smaller her tits get.
Yes, I bet there's science behind this.
There's not enough blood for both areas.
The funniest thing about this Rachel Zegler thing is, you know, Hollywood, obviously, about female empowerment, till a little lady gets a little bit out of line. And she obviously changed her tune because a bunch of men sat her down and told her to straighten her fucking act out, which is hilarious. So she's probably going to be very nice from here on out, which is kind of a bummer, but... for YouTubers, but I think in the long run, it shows how full of shit these people are. They're fake. They're NPCs. They're adult pretenders. And when they were out there, when they're free to speak the official politics, they're just regurgitating stupid shit that, it's like in that Team America clip I put up when Janine Garofalo says, we're going to read the headlines in the newspaper and pass them on like they're our own opinions. That's what they do. So, they called it out a long time ago. By the way, I watched that movie again. It was so fucking good. So fucking good.
If you want an example of Rachel Zegler without any kind of Hollywood influence, it would have been when she was on the strike itself. And she said, I deserve to get paid for every hour that is streamed online because I wore a dress for a bit. Like, that was entirely her own attitude, her own opinion. And it was exactly the same as all the other.
And then she was like, I have a hall pass so I could still work. And nobody else can.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Fuckity bye.
Many producers been like, why did we give the power to a 22-year-old to burn hundreds of millions with everything she says? Like, we should probably roll this back.
A little late to unmake the soup now, woke Hollywood. A little late. Dude, this year has been insane. With I thought 2022 was bad, but this was a bad year. What Echo Chamberlain did a video. He had 50 points of just like all the disasters from Hollywood. There's 50, effing 50, which is hilarious. And he just points them out. He doesn't really have to get into them very deep either. And it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Go check it out. I talked to Echo yesterday. I guess the next thing we should talk about is Elon, because he's continuing to roast Bob. I guess he tweeted right before the show started, Ryan? Did he not?
Yeah, Elon tweeted again, basically asking the question, why is Bob Iger not, and he misspelled his name on purpose again, why is Bob Iger, still advertising on Meta, but boycotting X? Real question.
Wow.
I'm so glad he's pointing out this hypocrisy, though,
Bobby.
because... did you see the chart?
I thought he was going to spell. I thought he was going to spell it with 2 G's. Never mind.
Yeah, what did it was Bob Iger.
Iger, please.
Did you see
African American, so you can say that.
Did you see the chart where he showed like the amount of anti-Semitic content on Meta versus like X, and X actually has a lot less. He really has cleaned up the platform overall.
I did see like a chart, but I have no idea about the sourcing of any of it.
I was going to ask what the source of it was. Did someone just go out there and
make a chart?
Look at this. It's hand drawn. It's like
he's like retweet.
I mean, to be
that
fair,
was basically sharing like right now Disney is being Meta's being sued for platforming like underage abuse and shit like that. So there's a lawsuit in New Mexico regarding Meta and Instagram and Facebook. So Meta in terms of that, but Disney's still advertising on their platforms.
Yep. So clearly Bob is okay with fans of the playground.
Yes.
It kind of fits their business model right now.
It does.
Congratulations on their award. Well deserved.
Yes. Yeah. This was a headline would have been out for about a week, but it's a good one. Disney awarded defense contract after producing more bombs than Lockheed Martin. You earned it, Babylon Bee. Well done. Well done. And he kept on going off, just it's been glorious. It's been this drops more bombs than a B-52. Again, we need to normalize, billionaires roasting each other. I think that, it kind of makes them human a little bit. And it also exposes them. And Elon Musk is obviously a great disruptor in this, and he's not perfect at everything. I don't love everything he does, and I think that's pretty much with anybody. But what he's doing right now is pretty punk rock, and I fucking love every second of it. So keep it up.
He's really impressed me that he's actually not caving. He's not, bowing down to the cancel mob or anything like that. He just basically says, go F yourselves, and is standing on principle. And that is actually something, to be applauded.
Go
respect
yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. Hey, Bob.
MauLer, man.
It's the best thing ever.
My favorite part of that is the interviewer. You could tell he had a whole thing that he was going to go down and how I'm going to trap him in corners. The moment he said that, he had nothing else to do.
He stopped him dead.
If you don't care about money, what do I have on you? So he started asking about his mom and stuff. He was like really desperate and turned into a therapist instead. It was bizarre,
funny when he said, like, what do you do? What do you think about that? And he goes, don't advertise. And he goes,
yeah.
Wait, what do you mean? He means don't advertise on my platform. That's what he means.
Well, at that
Every
point,
other company is back down.
on the brakes and had no idea where to go from there.
I mean, it goes to show you like how cowardly these advertisers really are. I think back to, the adpocalypse on YouTube, where the smallest little bit of, and it was absolutely bullcrap framed, where they try and cherry pick, ads appearing on what they call problematic content. And they were just so friggin', they're like a whole bunch of pussies were like, oh, we'll take our ads off the platform. And it means nothing. It's all performative. And like I said, it goes to show you just how full on cowardly they all are. Just to virtue signal.
I know.
It's not just virtue signaling. There's also self-interest in it because as they leave, all the CPMs go down and then they don't say anything, but they come back and they harvest the lower CPMs. So they do monetarily benefit from it as well.
And in the apocalypse, everybody came back. They all came back to YouTube.
Well, so that's something I was thinking about, right? Because I get that there's monetary incentives and you can use your ad spaces as leverage, also ad buying as leverage. But ultimately, like, you could have everyone back out of YouTube. It's like, okay, but the people are still there.
Yeah.
So like,
right.
And they're all
I guess it goes down to just some random company will be like, I'll buy ad space. I sell toy cars. There we go. You're like, all right, yeah.
Is anybody here upset that you're not seeing Disney trailers all over your feed? I'm not. I call it a win.
I was gonna say that Disney need that, like, on top of everything, less advertising. Well, yeah,
it's probably gonna save him money.
Yeah, it might do.
I just find it great because in that interview when he doubled down, and he's like, "What do you mean by that? Don't advertise, and it will destroy the company, and everybody will see that these companies boycotted the platform to destroy the company. It was their fault, and we're gonna document it." And he's willing to destroy the company on a principle, which I think is so much better than going out and pretending to have principles like Disney and all these 400 other companies do. So yeah, as long as he sticks to his guns, and he seems like he does, I'm back in Elon right now.
Netflix is still advertising on Twitter. You notice that? They didn't leave. I saw a trailer the other day.
What about all the anti-Semitism? Netflix is like,
Netflix is like, whatever.
Hold on. There's a difference. There's some people that are not advertising on X. So say like some of these companies are spending millions of dollars to have their ads appear in people's things.
Yep.
Some people have also stopped posting, right? I believe Disney and others stopped posting on X, period. Right.
But not all of their affiliates.
Yeah, like some of their things will go, but their like main Disney account won't. Yeah.
Somebody put up that list of all those credit card companies that are going to stop posting. It's like, okay.
It's probably a net benefit to the human race.
When they do a list of like 100 famous and influential things, people, events, and institutions that aren't posting anymore, I'm just like, okay, so what even eventually happens? Oh, we don't get updates from Lady Gaga. It's like, okay. The thing is, whatever platform these things are on, they'll get screenshot and then posted on Twitter by somebody else.
Yep.
So it's just like, I don't know. I mean, if Twitter dies anyway, I don't give a fuck. It's just like, all right.
It does raise an interesting power dynamic, though. A lot of this, it's the same with cancel culture. It relies on momentum to try and pressure you into giving up. And once you give up and apologize, well, now you're the guilty one. You've said it by your own things, and so we're the righteous ones. But if you stand up to them like he's doing, Now he's turning it back on them. It's like, well, if we push it, I can make you seem like you're the bad ones. And so now it's no longer you're doing this and going to benefit from it in the PR stance. You could actually come off worse with your audience base. And it allows them to, there's a cost now rather than just a pure benefit that they've always had before when people just back down.
This is something we've been saying for years. If these companies would just tell the activists and the cancel culture mob to go fuck off, they have no power at that point. And that's what Elon did. He took their power away.
He's calling them out on their bullcrap. They're trying to say it's, because of the anti-Semitic content and, Elon bad that, and they're pretending that it's a principle thing that they're withdrawing their ads. But then he's like, okay, if it's the principle that's causing you to take your ads off, why aren't you doing it with Facebook and all the problematic content there? And they're not. And so he's just proving that it's not a principle. You're actually being colluding to try and take Twitter X down and Elon because they don't like him. That's the reason.
This is absolutely collusion. It is. They were just looking for an excuse, and he even insinuated that in his interview. And and the best part about it is these corporations can't say shit. If they say anything in response, it's responding to it, which validates it even more. Although we all know it's true, right? And then we play this game. So when you have such a wild card. Like Elon and what Trump did in politics, whether you like him or not, he disrupted a system that has gotten too corrupt, and it's because he just doesn't give a shit. And yes, we need people with go fuck yourself money, which is I forget who coined that, but that was very good. To do things like that, and that will help us obtain some kind of balance because these corporations aren't competing, which is that should be alarming to everybody.
Yes,
no corporation should be in lockstep. That's when we're in serious trouble. That's when you're heading to real fascism.
Yes.
And that's how our information gets controlled. That's how people get banned. And yes, we have an election year next year, and it's going to be really fun on this platform. I'm sure. Really fun.
I think it's interesting. January 1st of next year, Mickey Mouse becomes public domain.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
Yeah, Steamboat Willie, the first Mickey Mouse appearance, becomes public domain. So I think Elon should just post the entire cartoon. Just first day, first hour, 12 o'clock.
Help me, chat. Who's the guy back in the 80s who did the Mickey Mouse cartoon, got the shit suit out of him, but it's this horrible Mickey Mouse parody. And it had something to do with the parody law. God, I've lived too long.
For a fact that the Disney lawyers getting whipped that day. It's like, you fuckers, you're supposed to extend it indefinitely.
I watched a really interesting video on it where, because the reason that it's been this long is because of Disney. They lobbied.
Extended, yeah.
Right, like 45 years extra or something like that. The reason that they're not doing it this time is because now they own all of the other platforms. Like, they own these massive platforms, so what's the point? Because they've dwarfed their importance of Mickey Mouse in their entire scheme of all the other things they own that they purchased, that it doesn't even matter to them anymore.
It is funny, right? 'Cause someone might say, like, yeah, I feel like they've moved away or haven't really relied on Mickey Mouse so that this can have less of an effect. And it's like, well, they've killed all their mascots if they had any.
Yeah. Hey, well, they got one back. The Ditko estate settled. So they don't. Spider-Man's no longer in question. You might see an emphasis on Miles Morales kind of dial back, but we'll see about that. That's one of the reasons Miles Morales is still Miles Morales, by the way, but that's one of the reasons he's around is because of these continuous lawsuits from the descendants of the creators and creator rights. Well, that's been worked out now. So we'll see what happens. Maybe that's what was holding up the Spider-Man movie. I don't even know. It's kind of crazy that they haven't greenlit or gotten that thing going at all, but they haven't. They haven't. I don't feel sorry.
I heard there was questions about the director, whether John Watts did No Way Home, whether he was coming back for that one or not.
That is a good question because I doubt that, like, the whole situation over Fantastic Four didn't go down very well because he was supposed to direct Fantastic Four.
Well, he's been doing Skeleton Crew.
He's doing
right?
Skeleton Crew, so they probably gave him that. Skeleton Crew. Everybody excited about Skeleton Crew?
Yeah.
I have
We don't know what it's about yet.
Getting Skeleton Crew and Acolyte in 2024, baby. No Andor till 2025, MauLer.
Yay.
I saw Star Wars Theory and a couple other people posting like bad news for Andor, and I was like, take as much time as you need. Like if it makes
Don't
it
rush
better,
it.
I don't give a fuck. Like
certainly
same for
did in the
Arcane when they
series.
were like Arcane's coming in 2024. I was like, wow, that early. Okay.
We got House of the
Oh, there
Dragon
was
in 6
House
months.
of the- That's right. That's gonna
right.
be fucking awesome.
It's gonna be brilliant, dude.
One of the few things to look forward to.
Oh yeah.
George came out and said he saw the first 2 episodes and said they're dark. It's like, well, was House of the Dragon
Oh,
season
shit.
1 happy?
No, but we know.
Wait,
No,
does he
hold
mean
on.
season 8 dark? Like you can't see anything dark?
No.
Well, we know though, for people that have read
Yeah,
the book,
yeah.
we know it is gonna be dark the first couple episodes.
It's gonna be very dark. It's gonna
like it's probably gonna be the darkest thing we've ever seen Game of Thrones wise. And
Yep.
I'm not just talking about the Valarians. All right.
It's just it is kind of a funny statement because the last significant event was a child getting eaten by a dragon. It's like that wasn't exactly.
Oh, they're just
the
getting
fun
warmed up.
times.
They are just
Well,
getting warmed up.
Oh, I'm
there
sure.
might-
Well,
there
I
might
mean, even
be-
Game of
somebody
Thrones
needs
went
to pay
further
for
than that.
that.
So
Yeah,
Eye for an
very
eye,
dark.
Sun for a sun.
very dark. George met with his publishers, and people were going, "Oh, he was talking to about him with Wins a Winner." No, he met with his publishers. He was just
Probably
over
to
there.
tell him that he's nowhere close to done yet.
Yeah. Right. It's been 4,533 days. 4,533 days since A Dance with Dragons.
I imagine those publisher meetings are just fucking scheduled ahead, like years ahead of time. They're just like they just walk in. He's like, not done. They're like, yeah, okay.
No,
Okay,
that's,
good.
why do you
Yeah.
think he's done so many side books? Those are to keep the publishers happy because yes, he did take a massive advance, but they also know that if they're kind of stuck, right? Because they got to stick with the guy. They're this far in, and if he does by some miracle finish, he will make them a lot of money. But
Just imagine being his publisher, though. And you're looking at him, and he hasn't published this thing in years. And then you look over at another publisher, and they've got Brandon Sanderson, a guy who wrote 5 books because he didn't take some planes for a year. And you're like,
Yeah.
I wish
Yeah.
we signed that guy over there. That's what we need.
Look what he's doing, man.
well, the funniest part is within his Anata blog, he said he spent the strike on the picket line and writing wins, but then he came out and said he lost 100 pages on his
Yeah, so
manuscript.
a year ago, he said that he had around 11 or 1,200 pages completed, and that he was about 75% of the way done. That's what he said in 2022. And then in a recent interview, a year after those interviews, he said that I've got about 1,100 pages finished. So, like, either he made 0 progress or he made negative progress.
Yeah, he edited
Or he's
stuff
just
out.
throwing numbers out there.
No,
You know the
no.
time frame between these books. That's like a different man at that point. Like that many years passing.
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
Well, just think
Yeah.
about was it Dr. Rachel Lindbergh put out
It's a
one
different
that-
world we're living in.
She's like, think of all the things you've done since The Dance of Dragons come out. How many presidential elections have we had? We're going on 4 if he doesn't come out with it next year.
I still didn't play a new GTA game though.
This is true.
That's true.
But that's
That
a
could be why
game.
he's making negative progress. Like, he might be looking at stuff like, well, I can't write that anymore. Well, I can't put that in a book anymore. Well, that's got to go. And he just
Absolutely.
hits social issue after social issue. And rather than standing by what he's written, he's like, I've got to keep rewriting the same stuff as society keeps changing at a massive pace.
I'm pretty
I think he's got too many point of view characters. I think that he has an idea for where he wants the big picture for all of it to end, but I don't think he can fucking figure out the middle. I just don't think he can understand how to get from one piece to one piece, how to wrap up all these loose ends that he himself has put in the books. He
wonder
talks
if he's
about that
gonna
all the
kill off
time. Go ahead.
Sorry, I wonder if he's going to kill off a bunch of characters because in one of the articles I'm reading, it says, "Oh, it's not only is it going to be dark, but it may make you cry." So,
Well, House of the Dragon, you probably will
Oh,
cry.
We should expect a lot of people are going to die.
Spoilers,
Yeah.
people are
Always
going to
expect
die.
death.
People are
But-
going to die, yes.
But George talks about how
Just say-
he's a gardener, right? He's not like some architect who
Yes.
plans everything. He gardens, like he plants these little things and he sees how they grow, and sometimes it changes, it evolves, and like what he was planning on doing. When you have this long and this like convoluted of a universe, and so much that people have seen now what your broad scale scope for the ending was, man, and put on the pressure, or put on the added pressure then of people fucking hated the way the story ended in the show. So you have all of that going against you, and people have faith in you that it'll be better when George does it. He'll explain all these things. He's not going to make some of the same mistakes we saw Dan and Dave make. I just think I think he feels like his legacy is probably better off if he just fucking dies and never finishes it than if he puts it out and people don't like it.
Yeah, in the books, fucking Dorn, right? Like a couple of characters would have been fine, but he went nuts.
Conspiracy of Dorn.
Completely fucking nuts with Dorn. Cut all that shit out. Like you don't need any of that.
Yeah.
Like there might be one Sand Snake. You need the one at Old Town. But the Sphinx. That's the only one I would give a shit about. You could kill everybody else. And he did this giant shaggy dog story within it with Quentin Martell. It went fucking nowhere. It went nowhere. So, and I like the book, but you're like, dude. So,
Yeah.
sorry, I won't.
That is the worst book. That's the book you could just skip because it talks about a bunch of people that I was like halfway through that book. I was like, wait, none of the characters that I like have a chapter in this book.
A Feast for Crows is a tough read. I was
like, dang, man, this is rough.
Yeah,
waste of my time.
It's good for like Jamie and stuff though.
It's very good for
Jamie.
Jamie.
There's
some good parts in
there's
it.
like very few
half
and far
the book
between.
is freaking excellent. Well, I mean, even the stuff that I think meanders is still entertaining to read.
So great. Yeah.
But it just goes nowhere.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the Riverlands, dude. That one went forever too. So, yeah, I won't. What the hell was that?
It's my dog.
I was gonna say it sounded like a dog doing an impression of a Charlie Brown.
It's my dog rolling around on his back.
Does he want to come on the show?
Oh yeah.
Freedom.
Come here. There we go.
Come on, dog.
There he is.
Okay.
There he is.
No, baby.
Yeah, that's
Speak.
right.
Timeline cleanser.
Big friend.
Speak.
Oh no.
He's not gonna say anything.
I have no problem with the dog making noises. All the girl noises from the dog.
That's what.
Yeah.
That's the part that I hate. Really,
Jesus Christ.
it hurts.
Hey, Echo review. Echo. It's a show you probably haven't heard about. They're gonna drop it all at once to give it a leg up. The reviews are out, and
I heard it's a Trail of Tears.
Man.
Oh no. Echo is going to release in January, which I think we're all thankful for because January looks kind of dead. So apparently some people have seen it. Marvel's Echo series gets rave reviews ahead of release. Oh. Wow, we've never seen something like this before when it comes to Disney Marvel. This is such a shock.
I
Echo,
know.
The next phase.
Why would you review something
triumph,
a month
you
earlier?
could say.
To try and build hype, I guess.
They need to build hype because we're going to get into why this might be full of shit. I mean,
No, Gary,
be it
that's
for
ridiculous.
me
Come on. I
to
trust
call
them.
out the corporate critics for being
The
chills.
CBR.
CBR.
They're
you know,
trustworthy. Come on.
So trustworthy. Oh, don't let me forget, because I was going to bring it up earlier, to talk about the cancel pigs. We need to talk about cancel pigs right after this, because they're going after Mark Millar. But let's scroll down here. Marvel Cinematic Universe gets early reviews. So they just
The Direct.
Per the Direct, which is, I mean, does the Direct write their own articles ever? Ryan's
No.
gone. I was gonna say Ryan loves the Direct,
They're
but
always referencing other people. It's like the Variety says or Hollywood Reporter says.
I really like to use the Direct because I like their graphics.
And
I
their
like
headlines.
some of
They
their
do have good
headlines,
Direct,
and sometimes they get information, but most of the article itself is just
Sometimes
hot
they have
woke fucking garbage.
Yeah.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
but they're great for headlines. I agree. Great for imagery. Per
Direct
the
in the
Direct,
toilet.
which probably got it from somebody else, Echo has received early rave reviews from critics as they got to watch the first 2 episodes. Okay. By the way, Chris Gore can back me up on this too. When a lot of the reviewers, most, and I mean most, do their reviews for Rotten Tomatoes, they only review the first couple of episodes and they rarely finish the series. Some do, and for those of you who watch the whole series and review it, I'm not talking about you, but most don't. So most of that, that's why they go so heavy on the first couple of episodes for Disney Plus series, and it seems to meander after that because they just provide that. They get their reviews, they get what they need, and it's all part of the bullshit that, I mean, they're going to obviously have to get away from because they haven't turned a profit on Disney Plus yet. Although that's supposed to happen next year, guys. Next year, Disney Plus is pulling a profit.
Yeah, but now they've got to recoup
I'll
11
believe it when
billion
I
in
see it.
losses. So even when they start making money, there's a long uphill battle.
Well, Ryan,
This is one of the most hilarious moments for them in history because it's like the Marvels comes out. What else you got? They look at their cards. It's like that meme with the bird. They're like, what other material do you have? They're like Echo, Harkness, Ironheart. They're like, we can't put any of these out. Are you fucking kidding me? Like,
Oh.
Deadpool 3.
Deadpool 3, there you go.
Deadpool 3, which, I mean...
They should just ask us for our opinions, and if we are looking forward to it coming out, just cancel it. Like, just like, no, that's a no-go.
By the way, they're throwing everything in the kitchen sink into Deadpool 3. Just, that's all I can say. Like,
that's kind of what I want, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they're putting
everything.
Bunch of surprising stuff in there. And it might be fun. And it's a Hail Mary, and I think it's fucking hilarious that Disney needs the Fox X-Men to save them. And it won't save them, by the way. It'll be Guardians of the Galaxy. It'll be No Way Home. It'll be Anomaly. It'll be back to normal after that.
I think we've said this before. I think it should be, instead of Deadpool kills the Fox universe, it should just be Deadpool kills the MCU.
Yes.
And then they restart. Straight up.
I think that, to be honest, this is the perfect time for them to come out with a very, like, self-deprecating,
irreverent
like, parody movie, like just shitting on the multiverse, shitting on Marvel, like shitting on everything, because fans would be very open to that.
With Ryan Reynolds, if he's aware enough of like the memes and stuff, you'll put something in there. But yeah, you're right. The only way this could help them is if it were like a trilogy or something to give you hype for the future. Because as soon as this is good, if it is, the rest of it, the take will just be like, okay, who cares?
MauLer, are you saying Michael Waldron's Avengers does not excite you?
I don't even like. We talk about it all the time. It's just like, who the fuck? Why did you put him on the script?
He always gets credit as like the creator of Loki, even though he didn't write any of it.
And that's not a good thing. I wouldn't put that on my resume.
I wouldn't either.
Some people would, but most people like us would not.
Well, the story was like they had Doctor Strange 1 director on board for 2, right? And then his ideas got like completely slammed, and so they brought in Sam
Scott
Raimi,
Erickson.
and then I think Kevin Feige was like, Michael Waldron, we need you to come in like right now and
6
start
weeks or
working on a film that's already filming. Will you do it? And he's like, yeah, because it's not about writing, it's just about having your name attached to it.
Because Rick and Morty sets you up to write, film for some reason.
Worked for She-Hulk, right?
Yeah, or She-Hulk. Yeah.
Or She-Hulk.
Waldron, I think he's one of his first major credits, if you can call it that, was Rick and Morty, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the thing is, like, I don't buy it, like I told you before, Gary. And then him writing MOM, it was more like he had to write the lines between the action scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is because like Rick and Morty, as cringe as it can get, and the fandom can get, it is fairly well written. Like it actually makes sense the way that their universe works, the multiverse that it has, and the characters that it has. I haven't watched the last like 2 seasons, but back when he was writing, it actually was coherent. So I don't know where the drop off
I thought it was
is.
fine
Maybe.
first couple of seasons, but
I think season 3 is the best, and then you don't watch anymore after that.
Yep. Venture Brothers is better.
It is absolutely
by far
100 times, million times better.
Million times better. Per the Direct, Echo has received early rave reviews from the critics as they got to watch the first 2 episodes of the upcoming show at a preview screening in the United Kingdom. Much of the positive critical reception on social media centers around the action and grounded storytelling of the Phase 5 series in first episodes. And by the way, this is a screening where they probably got little gift bags, little snackies,
swag.
crisps. That was in the UK, so they got crisps. What other shit do you call wrong there? Biscuits.
Yeah,
what do we call wrong?
Yeah.
Don't get this too started on biscuits, all right?
Hey, I'm American, man.
I grab her the way I want it.
Yeah, that's right.
Tape measures with just the metric system on it.
Both biscuits and gravy.
Both biscuits and gravy and crisps. That's all they got was crisps and biscuits and maybe some fish. No Majesty's Paul Klein said, if the world-ending stakes of the MCU have got you longing for something more grounded, Echo is the gritty tonic. Okay, how many critics are going to call it grounded from now on?
Yeah, is that the key word? Is
That's
that
going to
it?
be their key? What's the key word?
Pretty grounded.
In the trailer, she jumped through a brick wall. Like, it doesn't seem, even the trailer doesn't seem that
grounded.
Do you know what they changed her powers to?
What were they?
Oh,
diversity.
Okay, let me finish reading this sentence and I'll tell you.
I need you to preface this with what her powers were in the first place.
Okay, 2 episodes seen, and it's hard-hitting action thriller with great sense of Native American culture because you in the UK know that so well. Can't wait to see the final 3 when they drop in January. Okay, Echo's powers are like the Taskmaster's. By the way, the director said these powers were lame. I disagree. I think these powers were actually good if they used them. She can echo whoever she's fighting. She can mimic their fighting style. That's how she beats them. That's what the Taskmaster does essentially. They've changed it. They felt so strongly about this Native American indigenous character that's what they are in the comic. By the way, in the comic book, David Mack, the covers based her on Gina Gershon. Does she look like Gina Gershon? No. Think Bound. If you don't know what I'm talking about,
She looks like Alakwa Cox to me.
She does, except a much thinner version than what they shot. By the way, apparently maybe there was so much time in between reshoots they had. Yeah. Okay, well, that explains it. That's okay. Being preggers. So her powers now are she can echo back to her descendants and use their skills and power.
That's gay as shit. What does she need to know? Fucking collecting berries or how to skin a sheep or something?
I know. Who are you echoing back to?
I don't know. According to Prey, the film, I think Native Americans were superhumans. So,
right?
They can take on
Maybe
predators.
the women.
Garrett, see if Garrett or X-Ray Girl, see if you can find. It's out there somewhere. A picture of her costume. Somebody took a
From
picture
this show,
of it.
yeah.
Like during a press screening, they took a picture of her costume, and it's fucking terrible.
She looked like the Aztec.
The great thing about
yes.
The great thing about searching for Echo is you can never find anything on the actual show. You type in Echo, Marvel's Echo, and Google's like, what do you mean? I don't know.
What does it bring up the comic book?
No, it doesn't even bring that up. It's just like, oh, here's this piece of technology called the Echo.
Google's just tired.
Amazon Echo.
I think Echo, did she not predate Bendis's run? She came in right at the beginning or right before Bendis's run when David Mack was still doing their
Oh,
covers.
God. Is that it?
Scroll down a little bit on this so I can read the rest. Thank you. Meanwhile, podcaster Tyler Charles. Anybody heard of Tyler?
I don't trust podcasters.
Fuck no, man. They're weird.
Degenerates.
Total degenerates. Well, Howard Stern said podcasting is for losers. So he's right. Was intrigued by the action series and credited the series for focusing on Maya Lopez's background. I've seen 3 episodes of Echo, a grounded, character-driven story with hints of bigger things to come. The strong focus on Maya's indigenous heritage, that's 2 right there, and personal history intrigues me. Fucking bullshit.
This doesn't even make sense because it was shown in the UK as well, and so if you start talking about indigenous heritage, you mean English people. Like, so I don't even know what
That's
to
it.
take from this.
That's it.
Oh my!
Oh,
What is that?
What the fuck is that?
Wow.
What is he wearing? Look at it. Look at it. Look at it.
That's a female mannequin. Son of a bitch. Don't misgender them.
Get it right.
It's like Apache Chief.
You can't really
like,
tell.
what the fuck?
Could be either.
I am Dreamcatcher.
It's obviously a very intelligent
For
one.
wearing things like that.
That's like what they like if like the Super Friends introduced Super Squaw. Like that's what she'd be
Yeah.
in,
Yeah,
right?
that's pretty funny.
Oh, you can't say squaw anymore? We're not allowed to say squaw? Apparently we're not allowed to say squaw.
I didn't know that was
It's
derogatory. Okay, squaw.
I mean,
Nobody cares.
are all the arrows pointing to the crotch deliberately?
It's subliminal.
It's directions. Like, she was pregnant when they filmed, so it's like directions for the baby of where to go.
Yeah, it's way out. Just follow the arrows.
Oh my!
It's like, what is it, like motocross, where there's a guy like reading out directions, take the next left, on 90-degree turn.
Okay. Meanwhile, podcaster Tyrell Charles.
You already read literally this entire thing.
I did.
Tyrell? Oh,
I
yeah.
did. Wait. Scroll.
Wait, you dropped
He said because I remember you said in personal history intrigues me.
Yeah.
And then you had a pause like it was a question. So that's where you were.
That's what happens when you get old, buddy. Just look forward to it. That's all I gotta say.
And while some quiet moments, LOL, slow the pacing, when the action scenes come, they are indeed brutal, Charles said. While critics are intrigued to see what's coming from the rest of Echo, some pointed out issues with the storyline and creative decisions. Total Films' Emily Murray said, enjoyed the first 2 episodes of Echo, which had an incredible and violent fight scene I want to watch again and again. The sound design is fire emoji.
Oh my God.
The brilliant Alaqua Cox continually draws me in.
Wow.
But I found the storytelling and pacing shaky. Excited to see the rest.
Interesting. The only thing they said of actual substance in terms of the quality of the show, which is referring to the storytelling and pacing, is they're admitting, that might actually be bad. Everything else was just kind of vapid, surface dressing in terms of a review.
Yeah. Well, there's a fight scene.
There's a fight scene, guys.
And it was fire.
They usually do.
I feel like if you have to say a fight scene is violent, you've kind of you've already
Defeats the
summed that up
purpose.
by fight scene.
I think yes,
A
by
little redundant.
definition, I believe so.
Yeah.
Like with Secret Invasion, when they were talking about how gritty and stuff that was going to be, I'm waiting for them to start evoking Winter Soldier to try and get people in. Be like, it's like that one you like, Winter Soldier. You remember that one? It's going to be like that, especially with the trailer for Echo. It's all serious.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
It's gritty, grounded.
Apparently, that trailer doesn't really represent the show that we're going to get.
Yeah.
Shocking.
At all. So, I mean, the trailer that featured mostly Kingpin in the Echo show, it looked like the Kingpin show to me.
Yeah, it's kind of like,
sure
who's this random woman?
Right.
Yeah. I'm sure Kingpin's going to be it for like 5 seconds and that's it.
He's going to beat up an ice cream man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, she can't hear him coming, though. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or that's like the real struggle, right? That's like her childhood struggle is she always misses the ice cream truck. Can't hear it.
Oh.
What are you fucking saying?
Ice cream too.
She can't catch up to it, too.
Deaf kids
Ryan's
want
the
ice
limb.
cream too, man.
Ryan, they need a montage in the beginning of the series of her missing the ice cream truck.
No.
All I wanted
We're
was
always-
more
always-
ice
we're
cream.
always
kids.
Her always like getting in trouble for being late because she couldn't hear the alarm. Just
wanted
like
an otter
super
pop.
monotonous things. Yeah.
Oh, wait, how do you say I want an otter pop in sign language? Sorry. Additionally, the Digital Fix's Tom Percival said he didn't agree with all the creative moves for the first 2 episodes, but assured Daredevil fans that they have something to look forward to. Saw the first 2 episodes of Echo tonight and have a lot of thoughts. I think fans of Netflix's Daredevil are going to love it.
Right.
Press X to doubt.
I like how randomly this guy turned into like a 90s radio host. Like when Gary was doing, saw the first 2 episodes of Echo tonight.
Call
pretty
now.
cool.
You get 2 tickets.
I got to give
to
him a
Echo.
voice. It's dramatic
And
effect.
Power 95.7.
Yeah.
Sign up now.
It's like the Marvels remembered it can be violent and dark. Alaqua Cox is amazing. Although I don't love all the creative decisions, though. See that costume. He said
See, what-
Maya is expected to feature in an upcoming D+ series Daredevil Born Again, with Echo providing a bridge to that appearance.
Isn't that such a weird sentence? Although I don't love all creative decisions, though.
Yeah, it's
Although their show is complete shit, I can't say it's shit, so I'm gonna give it some platitudes.
yeah, and this guy's supposed to write for a living, right? I mean, he's
Yeah.
a critic, so he's supposed to write. I mean, my excuse.
Well, we're
I
reading it,
appreciate
so I
the,
guess it works. Yeah.
The
guess it did
effort
work.
in praising Cox throughout the article is that.
There's a lot of
not
praise
even
of
Charlie
Cox.
Cox.
Yeah, they're praising Cox a lot in this.
Yeah, when her and Daredevil meet, it's going to be a Cox versus Cox matchup.
Cockfight.
It is.
Cockfight, yeah.
Yeah.
But we should write a review like that.
It's
Like,
a Cox fight.
Gonna be a cockfight.
Sounds like a deadline headline right there.
Starring Alaqua Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio, Echo sees Mayo Cox. They really want to put the Cox in there.
I really want to get that in there.
Cox in the head.
Return to Oklahoma to re-identify with her native roots as she tries to bury her past with the tracksuit mafia and previous associations with Wilson Fisk. Kingpin D'Onofrio. However, Maya and Kingpin later cross paths again, and they're forced to reunite against a common enemy. The series is a spin-off of the 2022 miniseries Hawkeye, where Echo defeated Hawkeye soundly, and is the first TVMA-rated show in MCU history.
It also made Kingpin look like a bitch, too.
Yeah, like almost immediately.
Yes.
God, that pissed me off. So many people didn't see that show, and you're so much better off for it.
It's a Christmas show, so now's the time.
Oh yeah,
to not watch it,
dude. They had this final battle on an ice rink, and it looks so fucking terrible. It looked like Disney on Ice. The final scene of the Hawkeye series looked like Disney on Ice.
I put that on my memory.
Crashing.
Well, no. So Hawkeye gets defeated by Echo, saved by Kate Bishop, then has a final battle against Florence Pugh's Black Widow and gets chewed out by her and apologizes at the end. That's the Hawkeye show. That was.
I forgot Florence.
He gets
Pugh was in
defeated.
Yes.
He gets defeated by Echo twice.
I think most of us forgot most of that show because that's how memorable it was.
I didn't even see it and I forgot
it's
it.
out of my memory.
I like the dog pizza.
Yeah, they brought
Don't get
that-
excited, extra girl. We're not talking about toppings. We're talking about actual dog made pizza.
I got really confused. I'm like, Asian show
I
now?
started drooling.
Much of the grounded, there it is again,
Yep.
storytelling can be credited to the fact that Echo was the first series under the Marvel Spotlight banner, which is a banner they had to come up with because this isn't really going to be part of the continuity because the show, this was supposed to be a bridge for the Daredevil show that's now currently been scrapped and they're reshooting everything. So I don't think it'll be a bridge anymore. By the way, Marvel Spotlight, great comic book. They didn't even make the logo look like the Marvel Spotlight logo from the comic. Fucking idiots. The aim is to tell more character-driven stories with shows while breaking away from Marvel's big budget model. Created by Marion Derry and led by director Sidney Freeland, Echo features 5 episodes. So 5-episode miniseries.
Wow, that's it?
Wasn't it like originally 6 and they had to cut one out?
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that. That's how they're pitching Marvel Spotlight. This stuff's going to be cheap trash. It's like, that's not marketing.
Don't get your hopes up.
We don't want to dump a lot of budget into it, so we're going to put it over here.
Lowered expectations.
Seriously, all these reviews are just making me feel like the show is going to be dog crap because they're all trying to deflate, like by trying to say that everyone has been saying it's grounded. That doesn't mean it's good. Grounded is a zero kind of thing in terms of quality. A show can be good and bad, still being grounded. Also, a show could be good or bad, being spectacular and fantastical. And so these are vapid, no kind of statement review comments about
It's really a setting.
Yeah.
And most of them are not going to review the whole show. Like I think Gary was mentioning earlier, I went back and looked at the Rings of Power. 162 people reviewed the first episode, 151 the next one, third episode 35.
Yep.
Wow.
Those are critic
Huge
reviews.
fans.
Yep.
Oh yeah. So
I
clearly
noticed-
they stick with it all the way.
No, they do not. We do for the most part. But I think this is a good time to tell you that over the last 6 months, I've talked to 3 people about the show, and one of them is somewhat related to Marvel. 2 of them work for Disney Marvel, and they think the show is shit. they know they're like, we've seen it and it's shit. And one person told me, and I've said this before, that they tried to cancel it. They tried to shit can it and could not. Garrett was there for that conversation.
Yes.
So that's why they ran with the strategy of let's just put it out in the middle of the night and hopefully nobody will see it at all. I don't know what they might release it. You know, it's only been about a year since they've moved away, and not just with every show, since they moved away from like dropping stuff in the middle of the night. I think they're going to drop this one in the middle of the night. I think.
Yeah, they probably are. And it was pretty apparent when they announced that they're going to be dropping it all at once that it was going to be complete garbage.
So it's funny that critics come out and try to praise it when people who worked on the fucking show hated it. They think it sucks. And it's not the first show I've heard this from a Marvel where they're like, oh man, this is going to be a stinker. Like this one's embarrassing.
I mean, even the reviews we just read, right? If we're paying attention, every time they actually commented on something of substance, like the plot and story, they were like, I wasn't too crash on that. They're saying it's dog crap as well, but because they're paid shills, they have to, try and dress it up and make it seem good and everything to maintain their access.
Grounded.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there must be some sort of like press pack they get on what words they need to use, like grounded. So
it's the same thing when you go to Blockbuster back in the day and you pick up that action movie that looks cool on the cover, but none of the actors look like you've seen them before.
Right.
You flip it over, there's like a line that's like, best action movie I've ever seen, Susan.
Dumpsterfire.com.
I don't know who that is. They're just pulling random people.
Susan's like one of the most famous film reviews.
Legendary? Wow.
Yeah.
I need to do my research.
Yeah.
This also happened.
Marvel's Susan.
So,
yep.
The Marvels ends box office run as lowest grossing MCU film in history, and all I've got to say is thank you.
What a glorious plan to be
Thank you for the public for having better taste than this.
Thank you.
You didn't have to do this for us, Marvel.
Christmas came early.
As it did.
At least for now, I'm ahead of Dan Vask. All is good with the world, you know?
At least for now.
Well,
it's also a bit of vindication, and because look, maybe it could have been good, right? But all the red flags and warning signs were pretty darn clear, and we were all kind of expecting it to be a disaster. And it comes out, and it's worse than I was projecting. Like it is really, really just bombed massively, more than my expectations.
And it's just
amazing.
the fact that it bombed, right? Because it's like you guys said, it's intersectional in its basis. Like that's the foundation of it, but it's not really a woke movie. It's just fucking bad. It's just horrifically bad. It really shows that the director fucked off in production. And obviously, according to Iger, they didn't have enough executives there.
We didn't have enough. We didn't have enough supervision for the unqualified black woman we hired for this role.
And
that's what Iger said.
That's what he said.
Highest grossing movie for a black director, I've been told.
If only more executives were there, we wouldn't have made it.
My God.
Well, the next time they hire a black female, they got to have more executives to watch over her. I'm sorry,
there should be some legit fucking backlash from the woke mob crowd over that comment.
There should.
Like there legitimately should.
Yeah, I'm surprised that there's no, even from the director herself, right? Being like, excuse me? You need to tell me how to be a director now, huh?
God, I would love to see that happen.
Oh, if she went on.
I don't know why it hasn't yet. You'd think it would have.
Well,
there's nothing heroic about the box office.
Hey, but you know what? You know what the Marvels can say? The Marvels is one of the 20 finalists for best visual effects for the Oscars.
And Oppenheimer isn't.
And Oppenheimer is not.
What?
Well, the Marvels checks all those boxes.
You know what else is in there? You know what else is in there?
Oh, yes.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania.
Oh, MODOK, get in there, buddy.
MODOK, no.
Yeah, it's just MODOK's cheeks.
Those are both part of the finalists for nominees for visual effects, and Oppenheimer is not on that list.
Dude, Oscars fell off hard.
Now,
years and years ago.
There's not a ton of visual effects, period, in Oppenheimer, and the ones that are almost exclusively practical effects. Now, practical effects still qualify for visual effects.
Yes, they do.
But maybe you can see that as maybe a reason they didn't do it, because there wasn't a high volume of them. But for the little that there was in that, it was far more impressive than the massive quantities of visual effects shots that looked horrific in the Marvels, and particularly Ant-Man.
Yeah. Guardians is probably nominated, right?
Yes, it is.
And Flash, is it nominated?
No, Flash missed out. Flash and Blue Beetle didn't make the cut.
I wonder why.
It was supposed to look like that, though. Did he tell the Oscar people?
Yeah. That's like the Marvel Spotlight banner. That's what he said for that. It's supposed to be shit.
So what happens whenever there's like a shit-looking movie? It's like, no, it's a visual effect that we tried real hard to replicate actual shit. So we should probably get points for that,
Would Godzilla -1 qualify?
It has been nominated.
It has. Okay.
Or sorry, it is a finalist
It's a
for
finalist.
nomination.
Yeah,
Nice.
I hope it wins. Screw it. That'd be so great if it
If
won.
that one doesn't get it, but all of the other things you've just listed do, I mean, it's already known that the Oscars are a joke, but then it just becomes that much more clear at that point.
Dude, and the director the director worked in ZBrush to design Godzilla in that movie. That director was doing so many different things in the production.
I thought you were saying he worked in zebras, and I was like, oh, he's like
no, ZBrush. He 3D modeled the Godzilla, and he was animating, and he was camera operating, and he was the director of visual effects. Like, he was doing so many different things.
That's an independent production, man.
Yes,
that's what
we need
is.
more movies like that.
Yes,
that's how you keep the price low. Apparently,
more of that spirit.
Well, and that's how you keep shitheads out of your production. You just do
Yeah.
more stuff yourself. Oh my
That's
God.
why they say necessity is the mother of invention.
Yes.
Like, you get forced to do things, you have to learn and do it yourself. And if if the director's doing his own effects, he cares more than anybody else they could possibly hire to make that thing look the best. You have like Underworld. That was on, I think it was about 22 million back in the day, 22 or 26 million. The only reason he got Kate Beckinsale on side is because he drew his own storyboards and sent her the pictures. And rather than just finding the script, she saw the pictures. And they were acting in the scenes. And there was all kinds of things they had to do because they couldn't afford CGI. So they had to learn how to do it in real life. And the movie's better for it. Whereas I think the volume should make things cheaper. Whereas all it's made them be is lazy. And it's now like, it doesn't matter what happens. We're just going to fix it afterwards. Nobody cares about anything. It's somebody else's job. And as long as you can palm off the responsibility to someone else, you don't care.
It's a pity because I think the volume is actually a really impressive bit of technology. It just seems to be being misused and misapplied, and they're just using it way too much as well.
Rear screen projection or green screen or just CG in general. These are all incredible tools, but when you just go like, fuck it, slap it on, we'll be done by the afternoon. It's like, oh.
I think green screen looks better. There's something weird about the volume, which
it
makes it
to be
look as
fair-
if they're popping off the background.
Yeah.
This applies to everything to the point of practical effects, right? Like, a lot of people were praising Disney's takeover of Star Wars, being like, oh, look, we got more practical things. We're like, what they did with Baby Yoda in the latest stuff, it's like,
Dude,
they
the
actually
flip
managed to start making people go, practical effects can be bad.
Yeah.
MauLer?
Remember the scene from Mando season 3 when there's like when maybe you like jump. It's during the thing with the with
Team
Moff
America
Gideon.
walk.
Not the flip.
Not the
Not
flip.
the
Not
fight
the
with
flip,
Moff
but, like,
Gideon. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, literally a scene where you can tell somebody like was on this side of the camera, just like, all right, throw him, and they just go,
Toss him.
and it's just like the doll stiff as a board.
It's so bad.
No, what's funny is there was a little animatronic toy Baby Yoda at LA Comic-Con that moved better than it did in the fucking show.
Whenever they have him walk, it's always so weird too. And like I feel like the idea of all the women, no offense down at the bottom there, but all the women like, oh my god, like freaking out every time Yoda fucking moves his little legs or whatever. That got old real quick. And it just started looking weird.
Look at they're all what? What are you talking about?
You destroyed Star Wars.
Look,
I can see it right
supported
there.
them.
He
It's in
doesn't
both
get
of your
old.
shots right now.
He ages so slowly. Yeah.
But I've been rewatching Farscape recently.
Yep. See?
Yes,
Yeah.
oh, that's so
It's
cute.
like
Yeah.
it's like catnip for chicks.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
Here's how Star Wars got destroyed, everybody.
Yep.
There you go.
I wish ours was alive so we could rip their heads
With
off.
thunderous.
There's applause.
We need that clip. So,
Ripping
it up.
So Marvel knows they're in trouble, and as many of us said before, they're not going to be able to fix this at all. Right, by the way, Robert Downey Jr. is not coming back, according to Kevin Feige.
He also, I mean, to be fair, he also said fucking the other two Spider-Men aren't going to be in No Way Home.
That's true. That's true. But even
I
even if
personally
he comes back, I hope he doesn't come back. Honestly,
I'm 50-50 about it because it's like the last desperation event. We can get past it and then rush to the end of this fucking cycle.
I actually think there's a chance, and we know they do this stuff. I think there's a chance that they absolutely were in discussions for it. And I think they saw the reaction when that story leaked out. And the reaction, I think in a lot of ways was like, well, that'd be cool, but it wouldn't fix anything. Like, don't bring him back. Don't erase that story. Like, because I think most people in their minds, it's like, all right, if you're going to do like an entire movie, even just one movie with the OG Avengers cast being the leads in it, that would get a lot of fucking people to come out. But unless it's leading to something, it doesn't fix what you're doing. And I don't think anyone would be excited about
do
that.
And then if you Toby in it, and then make it crap, and it earns like 500 million, and then it can be over.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then they're good. Oh, go on, Ryan.
I was going to say, or the other option is what I think most of us think would be likely, was they come back for some little 10-minute cameo sequence that everyone else has had to do all this stuff to get them back for this last little battle. And then it ends with all these characters like, fucking Chris Evans once again going to Anthony Mackie, be like, we needed a black Captain America. Tony Stark going to Ironheart and being like, kid, you're doing better than I could ever done.
Yep.
Like shit like that, and just like throw up in my fucking mouth as I'm watching.
It's only more opportunities for them to screw it up.
I apologize for being a male presenting Iron Man.
Yeah, I bring it back just to debase and humiliate them and try and prop up their new crap.
No, all the rumors are saying that after Secret Wars, it's leading to all new, all different anyway. So it's like, so you're basically changing nothing.
We're there, dog. They're already there. We're in all new, all different. No, what the rumors are now. No, the rumors are now. Okay, rumor from Bounding Into Comics, which is just shit we've been saying. Which is what a lot of these rumors are. Okay, it's just shit they see people saying online and they repurpose it into a fucking rumor, which is let it sit for a minute, recast all the main characters, which is exactly what they need to do to save this. They need to vault it for a little while, recast Cap, Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, everybody, and start over. That's the only way this has hope at this point.
You saying that, Gary, gave me an interesting thought. The vault it for a while. Disney's business model used to be the vault. You used to have all these things that people love that were very in demand. And guess what? You couldn't just go out and get it anytime you wanted. They put it in the vault. They would bring it out for a while. You have to buy it on, VHS, Blu-ray, whatever the fuck. And then it would disappear again. It wasn't just available in perpetuity all the fucking time. You weren't constantly overloaded with it. It was special.
By doing that, they convinced generations that these things were new. Like, there were films. When I saw Snow White for the first time, I didn't know how old that was. That was fucking mind-blowing when I found out when that was made. I just thought, oh, cool animated movie that's new and I enjoy. Same with a bunch of them. And then it's like, this was made like 20 years ago, 50 years ago. It's like, what the fuck?
Well, the other thing, too, is they manufacture demand because of that.
Well, it creates scarcity. Scarcity. Yeah.
I mean, the main issue...
It works. And it was done by Disney.
But even when Marvel was actually making some good stuff, it was coming out in a high, a faster rate than previous, and because it was good, it was successful. The main issue is that it's dog crap quality, and even if they do vault current MCU and restart it, if they make dog crap, it'll fail drastically.
Exactly.
They just need to learn how to make good stuff again.
Well, we either need to get out of this era, they need to find new blood, or it dies. I mean, which it probably is just going to die. Let's
just rush to the end of that.
Let's just get acceleration. Right, I totally agree. But the way comic books reinvented themselves is they would do these events, they'd over fucking saturate, and then they ground stuff. They would be forced to change, and they'd pull it off because they had a relatively small team at Marvel and DC. It wasn't huge of people who still love comic books and knew how to write stories. They can't do this in film. You can't pivot quick enough in film. So, what they're not thinking about is 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road. They're just thinking about the next quarter. And you can't make art like that. That's why it's like ultimately the corporatism will be the death of Hollywood. And corporatism was what brought in all the agenda. We've gone over it a million times before. But because you can't pivot creatively, it will be a smaller studio, a more nimble creator, and superhero fatigue is here. Whether bad movie fatigue, it doesn't even matter. That's chicken and egg shit. We've had a bunch of bad superhero movies, like massive flops. Ryan has pointed out there's only one movie this year that cost over $200 million that's even been profitable. That's fatigue. That is fucking fatigue. And yes, we'll still get a good superhero movie here and there, and it'll do well, but it won't be the box office driver anymore. We still get good westerns occasionally. Is the western back? No. We still get some people still like musicals. I never liked them very much, but there have been a couple of good musicals. Is the musical back? No. So this shit has their time. The time is done.
What
do we
the
get?
superhero musical, Gary? That's on the way.
We're gonna do Doctor Who musical. We're getting
Captain
that.
America on Broadway.
We had a taste of that in the Marvels.
Star Trek.
I can't wait for the Wonka cinematic universe.
Oh dear God.
Do it.
If we can combo it with Godzilla, I think that could be funny.
It might be.
You know, like I'm hoping the new Wonka film will actually be good. But you know,
If it's like Paddington, which I think the same creators or creative teams behind this as Paddington, then it has a chance.
because well, my kids actually love Willy Wonka, like both the old film and the more
Tim
recent
Burton
one.
Chris Gore said it was all right. It wasn't like
And
bad.
so-
Yeah.
Because like there's so few just decent kids content that isn't, you know, drowning in woke propaganda and stuff. If they just make a fun kids film without any of the crap in it, that would be great. And so I'm hoping that they might have that, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, I mean, I think that movie's gonna probably end up doing better than Aquaman. I
Yeah.
guess. It's not projected to have as much opening weekend, but it's projected to
Down
do
the
much
stretch.
better over its whole
Let's be
the
honest,
holiday
well,
season and everything.
Aquaman is just a funny thing for us to talk about.
It is.
Like for a day, and then that's that.
Yeah. Get your videos out quick on that one. 24 hours. Because by the new year, it'll be forgotten.
And
Well, that is a movie that made $300 million in China, the first Aquaman movie.
Yes.
300 mil in China. Nothing is sniffing that nowadays. Even Avatar 2 made like 250 million in China. Like, I just can't.
Why
I
do
don't
you
know,
think
man.
that did so well then? That's weird.
Amber Heard, they love her.
Amber Heard's probably-
I mean,
Yeah, well, now they're fucked. They got a black guy in it, so they ain't gonna do the same in China now.
I mean, do you, like, what are those numbers based on? Like the Chinese government? Call me paranoid. I just don't trust anything coming out of that country. So the numbers might have been good before, but they are making their own stuff now, and they are bottlenecking, and they
That's
also
what
have.
I think it is.
Yeah.
And even when it was massive, it still was fool's gold because it's like, yeah, they get 25% of that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
but I think it has more to do with them producing their own shit. Like they have really they've upped the game for what they're doing. They're putting out a lot of stuff, and they're not letting as much, of our shit in there. And the stuff that does get in just doesn't really perform that well. I think Guardians did like 70 or 80 million, and that was like way more than people thought it was going to do.
Isn't there always a quarter of the country being locked down at this point too? So
Yes.
Those are called
Good
slaves, Gary.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Apple employees.
All right,
Apple
all right,
employees.
Nike
Apple
employees.
employees, yes.
Yeah.
That's the correct version, yeah.
Pick your woke company. They probably have workers in China.
Yes.
Well, yes, that's why they have DEI and they virtue signal.
Sorry, not workers, slaves. Sorry,
Slaves.
Yeah.
I should have used that too.
Yeah. Basically to hide the evil that they're actually doing.
Yeah, but the Chinese movies won't, which is probably why they're doing well. Like the companies could actually learn from the other. It is. I still think it's about values, and that like I've not seen the Godzilla movie that you're talking about, but although you probably like the Godzilla fights and stuff, I bet there's still some kind of moral message or character message.
No, that's what
happens.
carries the
human
Disparu.
shit.
Yes.
Is so
Human
good.
story.
It carries
It's so good.
Yeah,
You remember a movie because of how it made you feel, and there's nothing that Hollywood is currently producing that makes you feel anything except this is repulsive. And so it doesn't matter how good the action scenes are; you hate the rest of the movie.
There's nothing
That's the thing,
American.
though. The action scenes are shit usually in modern
They
Americans.
are. But I'll speak for America. There's nothing. Americans love a redemption story. All Americans do. I think that's the one thing that brings us together. And like, we love a story where a character's so fucking defeated and like overcomes that. And that's what Godzilla's about.
Yeah, and
Godzilla
there's
is
like
just,
there's nationalism in there. There's like national pride in there, but there's also national shame.
Yep.
Like coming to the aftermath of World War II and stuff like this.
Anti-government.
And- Yeah,
messages in there
anti-government.
too.
Yes, and anti-government but pro-country.
Yeah.
some very based messaging in this.
Right.
In
Yeah.
my
Well, that's like
opinion.
everything you've mentioned. Hollywood would never dare put in a movie.
Yep, you're right.
Yeah.
So,
And they will, and that's why they will continue to succeed, and that's why manga's kicking the shit out of American comic books right now. And like I said before, they earned it. They absolutely earned it. Good for them. I don't care where I get my like. I love my country, but my country really sucks at making comic books and movies right now. So I'll go somewhere else. I'm fine with that. Real quick, just on the comic book side, we're not going to get in the weeds in comic books. Over the week, a gentleman named Glenn O'Leary, a comic shop owner, I believe it's called Comic Palace, on the
Yes,
East Coast.
that is correct. That's correct.
Made a pretty simple video just going out and saying, hey, these stories aren't very good. I'm paraphrasing what he's saying. These stories aren't very good, and it's because the writers want to put themselves in these characters. I don't care about the writer. I just want to read about Steve Rogers. I want to read about Spider-Man. I want to read about Miles Morales, and I'm tired of, he basically, that's all he said. There was so much more read into that by his detractors. Now, you would think, hey, this is a guy, by the way, 30-year veteran at selling comic books. So that guy's got time. That's a man who understands stories. If you've owned a bookstore for any amount of time, like over 5 years, you understand stories. Your job is connecting the human with a story, with their story. That's our job title. So this guy does understand writing, storytelling, probably on a level that some writers will never understand because he's read so many books. And this is just a passion plea because he wants to keep selling comic books. By the way, he's never going to get rich doing this, but the fact that he's been doing it for 30 years, like, mad respect. Let's hear what he has to say.
But also,
real quick. Yeah, go on.
This is a guy who's putting his money where his mouth is compared to the people who are writing the movies, writing the comics, who are using somebody else's money to push their message. So he's actually invested in it personally.
He definitely looks like he loves comic books.
Hey, look, there's Echo right there. Okay, see that Daredevil cover? See behind him? That's Echo. Does that look like the one from the show? Does that look like the one from the show? No. Go on.
Most of these new writers don't have the love of comics like these older writers had. And all they care about is, how can I put myself in the book? No, we don't care what you would do if you were Iron Man. We don't care who you are. You're writing Tony Stark. You're not writing yourself in a book. If that's the case, write your own comic with you in it. No one will read it because nobody cares. People grew up are growing up loving Peter Parker, loving Miles Morales, loving all these Captain America. We don't need you to put your input in it. Just write Steve Rogers. Don't write Steve Rogers. What would Steve Rogers be if I was Steve Rogers? That's not how it works. But that's again how most of these new people write nowadays. That's why most of the stuff is shit. Because we don't care what you would do, because we don't care about your life whatsoever. Just write a book, get paid for what you do, get paid for what you're supposed to be doing, and make it a good story.
Make it a good story.
Yep.
Peter Parker. I love that Boston accent.
Peter Parker.
So
I fucking love it.
Peter
Tony
Parker.
Stark.
I really like the avant-garde camera work they've got going on. This whole
But seriously, like, think about all the self-insert kind of properties that have happened recently. Like, isn't like Miss Marvel just a self-insert as well?
Yes.
Writers, and they're just pushing themselves into the comic books and stories. So he's bang on the money with this, right? And that's probably why he's getting a lot of backlash, because truth hurts.
So Mark Millar had him on his show?
Yes.
He brought him on?
Mark Millar's getting a ton of criticism for a lot of reasons. By the way, Mark Millar doesn't care. He's like one of the last good mainstream comic book creators out there. He's a force for good. He won't he talks to us. He came on our show once, and he'll interact with everybody, and he's one of the few creators who's actually had success with film. Kingsman, Kick-Ass, just to name a couple of things.
Wanted.
Wanted, but comics is his first love, and that's where he'll always go. So many people wrote comic books for Netflix series. Well, he did both, but he still remains a comic book writer. He's doing his big game limited series right now, which is fucking awesome. But yeah, he talked to him. He reached out because this guy was getting criticized by the usual suspects. And if you guys are new around the channel, the comic book scene is dead in America. So we're talking about people who were prominent during basically the consumer movement of Comicsgate. Comicsgate is not the consumer movement part was between 2017 and I would say 2018. It's a different thing now. But that was basically fans of comic books calling out creators after the creators were attacking fans online, like, constantly. And that's when all of this diversity, they started gender and race swapping everybody. And now it's gotten to the point of parody now, and every character's gay. Well, not every character's either gay or bisexual. Mystique.
They're either gay or on the way.
Yes.
Oh, we lost Gary.
Yeah,
We've lost
I'm
Gary.
still
Part of the
I'm
show
still
is
here. I'm still here.
Sponsored
Sponsored
by
by Elgato.
Hey,
Sponsored by Elgato. So,
change.
I told you to switch out that cable.
Mystique, the character of Mystique is now Nightcrawler's father. I mean, that's just the latest thing.
Dude,
They're making
What the
moves
fuck?
they're doing it to own the chuds and I'm quoting them. They're making moves within the storylines to fucking piss their detractors off. They're so
I believe
fucking
it's
narcissistic.
since Nightcrawler from being Catholic too.
They're so narcissistic that they have the critics from 2 or 3 years ago still in their fucking head, and that's how they're writing stuff. It's like, oh, this will piss them off. This will piss off the alt-right. This will piss off the right instead of making good stories. And who suffers?
We don't care anymore.
Who suffers are the comic shop owners. The comic shop owners have been suffering. Comic shop. They should have spoken up earlier. You know, we've heard Phil Boyle, who's another comic shop owner, speak up recently. And man, this should have been happening 2 or 3 years ago. It's like way too fucking late. The Titanic's already on the bottom of the ocean.
Shit, honestly, it should have been happening 5 years ago. But
either way, that's who Donnie Cates came after him. Jamal Igle, you're not going to know who either of these people are. Donnie Cates got himself canceled. He says he had a car accident, which he did. I'm glad he healed from, but he also had an incident at a party, and he hasn't been working, and he's trying to get back into the good graces. There's also some others who piled on. To her credit, Gail Simone, of all people, supported the comic shop owner, which is good. So there's a split within what Mark Millar has, your boy Zach formerly called them SJWs. Mark Millar has coined them cancel pigs. So we're going to start calling them cancel pigs because that's what they are. And this part of the Whisper Network. Yes, there's an actual Whisper Network that was exposed by Penny Parker at Bleeding Fool. That's a lot of media, quote unquote, media members from comic books journalism. And they would essentially go into a little group and decide who to fucking cancel. And it's over politics. It's over personal politics. It's over jealousy. It's over envy. Whatever it is, it doesn't service the fan. They don't give a fuck about you. They've never given a fuck about you for the most part. And the mask is off, and it's affected the whole entire industry to the point where manga has stolen all of their market share. We've lost hundreds of comic stores in the last few years, hundreds. And now their mask is off, and they were happy to jump on this guy. So Mark was nice enough to reach out to him and interview him and have his back, which is good because it can't just be us, right? Of course, we're going to have his back, but Mark went out and talked to the guy. And of course, Mark is getting criticized for it now from the cancel pigs. Fuck the cancel pigs.
Yeah, the other
Two
thing
of
too, I
LA's
think is
closed.
funny.
Yeah, I was just looking it up now. Like, I looked up just comic book store closures in 2023, and 2 of the oldest LA comic book stores shut down. There's 2 that shut down in Texas. Like it's just like pages and pages and pages of comic book stores shutting down. So of course this guy's gonna come out and go like, look, we've had people online say this, and now it's time for us to start saying it. So hopefully more will come out. But like you guys said, we're so far down this road, it's way too late. And I feel like that's what it's gonna be like with the MCU. So you said that we're about to go into the new and different and all new and all different, right? We've already been there. I think we're about to go to the current comic book industry phase, but in Marvel movies. We're going to get to the point where the people that talk about it just don't care anymore, and people don't go see them anymore, and it's just not pop culturally relevant.
Yeah,
So
I'm not sure why the leaker said that, or not the leaker, but the scooper said that it was we're heading towards all new, all different. Because I've been saying this since 2018 when they announced Jane Foster's Thor, and we all knew that we were getting Black Falcon, Captain America. It's like this is basically what has been done in all new, all different. So
Scoopers
just doubling down.
Where have you been?
Scoopers don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
You
there's
heard
that.
what Bob Iger thought the problem was. He thought it was that there wasn't enough of people like him looking over the movie because they wouldn't be able
executives,
to
which
fix
is fucking that's an excuse.
So Yeah, so they think they can change the brand, and because it's Marvel, you'll still go and see it. They don't realize the fundamental problem is the people working at the company cannot write good stuff because they are like directly opposite the audience. And until those people change, it's always going to be the same.
Yeah.
Every single time anyone explains all the problems, they dance around all the peripheral stuff that could possibly have influenced it, but they will never blame the people that actually make the thing. And until they actually start focusing on the one, like, anything else, if you make it and it's bad, it's your fault. Except in like Marvel and entertainment, it seems. It's ridiculous.
Well, and it sparked a pretty good conversation about like what storytelling is, how a creator should go about it. There's a lot of disingenuous misinterpretation about the creative process. Essentially, as a creative person, when you approach a story, when it's your original story, you write it for you. Absolutely write it for you to entertain you, but it doesn't have to be you, right? And be your politics. A good writer will separate himself. But when you're going to play in somebody else's sandbox, you have to keep that in mind. And what they're conflating is, he said, I just want to see Steve Rogers' story. And somehow that got, hang on, I'm still making my point. So that somehow got conflated with, he said that you got to write for the fans. No, writing for the fans is respecting the character. That's what he said. You respect the character, then you're writing for the fans. You know what? You want to do something different, and you think it's within that parameter of the sandbox that you fucking signed up for, and that's fine. The fans will react the way the fans react, and that's the core of the problem is when you do something like One More Day, the fans will call it shit. And they were putting J. Michael Straczynski, who's a legendary writer, through the fucking ringer on that one. And he took it like a man. Joe Quesada kind of forced him to do it, but he still took it like a man. He wasn't out there going, fuck you, fans, fuck you, and he was getting, destroyed in my comic store because he wrote like the worst Spider-Man story ever. Now we have shedding on our characters that we loved, and we as fans are like, hey, we just want good stories. I can't wait until they say that's an alt-right take, if they haven't said it already.
I think they have
already.
They have.
I'm pretty sure.
But the point is, like, we just want good stories, and good stories have some rules when you're going to play in somebody else's sandbox, when you've been telling a story for over decades. We understand as comic book readers, you have to do different things, and there'll be different styles and different takes. But that usually comes from talent, which the American comic book industry lacks completely.
Big time.
And it's been a proving ground for Hollywood. So the exact same thing. I did a video on this about a month ago, right, Garrett? About a month ago?
Yeah.
The same thing that's happening in comics is now happening in Hollywood, just like we said it would. And it's just because we recognize the pattern. We're not fucking geniuses or anything like that. We just recognize the pattern. So now we have inexperienced writers taking on these characters in movies, and the same shit's happening. It's really strange how that works out. Fucking.
And the great thing, too, is it's the exact same reaction we saw with the comic books, too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just recycle.
Just recycle.
Make the same mistakes again.
They do, because they're not very, Anna said this. It was pretty funny. At our panel, Anna kind of rocked the panel by ending it. I forgot who she called. She called somebody a cunt, but that's how she ended the panel. And you're not really supposed to cuss at these things. It doesn't matter. But she did say that most of the people writing comic books, and I completely agree with her, and I would push this towards Disney too, are retarded. She also said that at the panel, which was funny. And I agree. They're completely retarded. We have a very retarded approach towards storytelling in Hollywood right now, and it's due to the lack of people of talent. Whatever those people look like, I don't care, but there's too many stories being told because it's too oversaturated, and that's why you have so many woke idiots writing this shit and ruining it forever. Like, not just for a little while, forever. So your $1 billion investment, which could have been a cash cow forever, now has an expiration date. Well done.
I do sometimes wonder if it's their fault, though, because like they get hired for their position because of their identity. And so they get that gets taught to them as if this is the praiseworthy thing, this is the most important thing about you, this is the moral thing about you, this is why you're in this position. And so it's the most important thing. What's more moral than me putting myself in the movie? This is really important.
Mm-hmm.
And so they've got to where they are because of who they are, and they put it in the thing, and then everyone else doesn't like it. And now you're not just attacking like their writing, which would be offensive enough, right? You're attacking their art. You're attacking them personally because they put themselves into the comic book. So now it's really offensive. And it's like somebody is insulting you personally, and then they react as if you're insulting them personally and attack all the people. So it's one of those cases where I understand it, but the entire thing doesn't work as a business. And it has to change or collapse.
And it's
Those are the only two options.
Some of them also wisen up to the fact that they're being used, because Cinna Grace, who basically wrote Gay Iceman, came out blasting Marvel years later, basically saying that he was used for his identity.
Well, then he went back to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, don't act like you don't know that. Come on.
Yeah, no shit.
You're a fucking adult. So ultimately, they are responsible. You can't plead ignorance. I did no work and I got this fucking job. Wow, it must be because of my talent, even though I didn't do any work. They fucking
the funny thing about it is, I think he was expecting to have more of a career with Marvel, and they're like, yeah,
exactly.
you're
That's
out of
just
here.
what I said. We went down a quote unquote losers lane, which was a bunch of people from this era of shitty comics in one fucking aisle at LA Comic Con, which was funny, including why am I blanking on his name? The guy who just did the gay Green Lantern.
Yeah, okay. I know who you're talking about.
Yes, and the guy who did the woke G.I. Joe.
Oh fuck yeah!
with the chick.
G.I. Joe.
Yes.
G.I.
The
Joe.
Samoan
G.I.
character
Joe.
that he did.
Yeah.
It's a Bible adaptation, G.I. Joe.
God, I'm totally blanking on his name too.
We need that.
He was like the big fan of wrestling or something like that.
Yeah, I'm totally blanking on their names now.
Hulk Hogan.
That's it. It's not Cena Grace, but it's something like that.
No, it's
John Cena Grace.
Well, he's like has long hair and shit, and
Aubrey Sitterson. Thank you.
Aubrey Sitterson. Thank you.
Aubrey
Yes.
Sitterson was right next to the guy who did the gay Green Lantern book. They were like right next to each other, and nobody was going to their booth.
I
Big
wonder why.
shocker. But you know what? I did see a lot of Rippaverse shirts around in the wild.
Ooh.
That was
Nice.
very
Yeah.
good. And Alpha
That's
Core,
awesome.
Alpha Core is being shipped to people right now. Mine's coming in today. I was kind of hoping I'd get it before the show, but I didn't get it before the show. So
I want my sweater. They look comfy.
they do. I want the book so I can read it and then talk about my favorite part. That's right. What else we got, Garrett?
Let's see. The Blade trailer came out, but it's not the Blade you were thinking of.
Although it may release before the movie.
Let's see. Do you guys want to go into Doctor Who?
Yeah,
those
I mean,
clips?
briefly, real quick, before we go into that, while you're talking about Blade.
Okay.
So it turns out that the Reddit spoilers about Captain America 4 without Captain America were not true. But it was still bad that they had to go back and reshoot it. The stuff that came out about Blade was very true. It was going to have 4 female characters in it, and he was going to be kind of like the Whistler in his own movie, and that was supposed to launch these 4 women into something else. And they shit.
It's gonna be Madam Web, but instead
It's
of
a prequel to Madam Web.
Yeah. But so the
all
new
those
script,
women get blacked in Blade. That's what
so the new
happens.
script takes place in the 1930s.
Wait, the whole movie?
Yep.
That's interesting. Actually,
It's a period piece.
that's kind of interesting.
Well,
that was one of the original things we heard about it.
Yeah.
That was like one of the original rumors we heard about.
Obviously,
Blade,
it's
was
going
that
to be shit because it's
100
Marvel
years ago
now.
or so.
But
Yeah.
I would say that's
I mean-
not a bad idea. I'd like to
Isn't
see that.
Isn't any film with multiple women a period piece?
Oh no.
I really hope it doesn't deal with racism.
Racism. Yep.
Yeah.
Blade's gonna get judged because he's black, not because he's half fucking vampire. Like that's going to be the
He's
struggle.
gonna fight. He's gonna
I'm
fight
sure
like
that had nothing to do
KKK.
with why they chose that time period.
He's gonna fight KKK vampires. Yeah.
Oh my God! See, this is the issue.
You
When
took the nice things that I was
pressed gay
thinking and just
vampires.
reminded me of the world we live in.
When you say 1930s, I think Europe, so I don't think racism immediately because it would like that.
Me
wasn't-
too.
Never happened here. And
Okay,
so, and
well,
so
if you
I
go
was
to
thinking
There
it
was, there was
it
never
doesn't
any
sell-
there was never any fucking racism in Europe in the 1930s.
No, what I mean is we never
Yeah, I don't know what
had
you're-
segregation or anything in Europe in the 1930s.
It's good
That's
time.
like we had
There wasn't
specific
segregation.
people.
I think there
there's,
was.
There's like a World War thing for the American soldiers where they come over and they're like, well, we don't treat the black people like that over here. And it's like literally about the differences of how it's like the English versus the American and the different stuff. So
No, you guys just hate poor people. So
you guys make
It's a class thing.
obviously. But also,
you're
that we hate ourselves
indiscriminate in
if we're
hating
poor.
your
So,
poor
you know,
people.
it all balances
So-
out.
Yeah, we're not talking about like Hogwarts Legacy UK here, okay? You guys, there's a lot of white people there.
Hey, Hogwarts Legacy, 0 video game award wins, by the way.
Yeah.
Or nominations.
Same as Spider-Man.
Same as
Same as
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Oh, is
Yeah.
Beardo okay? Who left?
There seems to be a common.
Odin.
There seems to be a common link between those.
Who just left? Oh,
Way too
Odin.
much diversity for the Game Awards. Odin left, I think.
Odin.
Okay. What do we got, Garrett? Sorry.
So they dropped this the trailer for Blade. They announced the Blade game.
Let's take a look.
Bling.
Boing. Oh, red flag.
Hey, modders.
Arcane, though.
Get ready.
Detail.
Votre attention, le soleil est sur le point de se coucher. Tous les citoyens sont priés de se mettre à l'abri en intérieur jusqu'à l'aube. Attention, the sun is currently setting. All citizens are required to shelter indoors.
Turn that shit up.
Nice one, idiot.
Good job.
Well, don't use that
Relax,
on me.
man.
Just
No,
let
that's
it.
good. Oh my god.
It'll be fine.
Lock up tight now.
Why are you painting? He hasn't done anything.
Gave him
Nice,
one
just
shade.
getting started.
It's just a little off the back, my usual.
Now, Bethesda, red flag, big red flag. Arcane, not so much. I think Arcane's had some good games.
It is.
MauLer, what's
it
your
is way
thoughts on
too
this?
early.
That's why
I fucking hate these trailers, bro, because
Yeah.
like there's literally nothing.
It's
I
not
can tell about the
gameplay.
game.
Those are
Nothing
my
there.
thoughts. I hate this trailer because it's useless. But that's strictly a gamer point of view. Like in terms of just being like, oh, that looks cool. It's like, yeah, but there's nothing there. That's
Right.
Yeah, it tells you nothing about the game.
No.
Show
But
me
if
the
I'm
micro-
thinking Dishonored, if it's like a first person, even maybe if it's third person, it could be a good game. But yeah, this tells us nothing about it.
I think the game is going to be them just searching for their dads.
That's the side quest.
All right. What was our after this? What were we going to talk about?
Doctor Who.
Arcane did make
Doctor.
Deadfall.
Before we talk about Doctor Who.
Ah, that's true.
Before we talk, what was that?
They made Redfall, which is like one of the worst games ever made.
Oh.
Vampire
yeah,
related
totally.
thing.
I remember that game. Yeah, I played it all the way through. Yeah, because I'm really good.
Oh,
at
that
gaming.
was a mistake.
And nobody played it all.
No,
then.
I didn't. I never even heard of it until you just brought it up. All right, we have a little announcement with MauLer. With MauLer.
Oh, okay. I guess, yeah. All right. Well, I mean, I feel like maybe we bigged it up too much by accident. I hope. I figure people will like it anyway. But yeah, I mean, how else do I say? We got the 20th anniversary of Return of the King coming up, and a friend of mine had an idea of why not bring in a big bunch of special people to go through the 3 Lord of the Rings films, commenting on everything we can in terms of why we love them so much and what's meaningful about them, while also having a bit of banter. And that's been done hastily over, how long did it take us? Like a month to record that? I don't know. With several people, and it took a while for it to get edited, essentially rushed between me, Fringy, and someone else. So the 3 of us working nonstop, and it's hopefully going to come out on the anniversary. It's going to be essentially EFAT Movies extended Lord of the Rings trilogy all in one video. And you know, we'd done it once before, like 4 years ago, but that was mainly me, Rags, and Wolf making weed jokes throughout the whole thing. I was like, it's a very specific tonal experience. This one is much more, you know, we talk about why Lord of the Rings is so amazing for a lot of it, and you know, there's some jokes in there as well. But yeah, I figure, you know, we're trying to get it done on time, and I have a feeling those in chat, you'll probably love it. And then what'll be awesome is the following day, we'll be doing the Return of the King stream. If everything lines up.
We are.
May I
Lord of the
ask
Rings
a
is pretty neat. I keep
question?
saying this. Well, you know,
It was tons of fun
true.
to make. We've been working. It was like herding cats, trying to get everybody together. But you did it. You did it. It's gonna be fun.
We're going to be editing it in such a way that hopefully you don't notice all of the seams of the how many recording sessions were there? Like 7?
7.
Something like that.
Something like that.
For different reasons. But yeah, I don't know. I'm a little bit excited about it. It'll be fun to get it out and hopefully get it out on the 16th, but there is a chance we won't be able to edit it in time, but we're going to try.
MauLer, how long will it be?
That's actually not sure yet. We're going at a ratio of about, for every hour recorded, there's 40 minutes of completed footage. So you know Lord of the Rings, right? It's like
Ooh, yeah.
12, 13
Okay.
going down to, so we could expect as much as 8, something like that.
So yeah, so this video will come out, and then we're doing a stream on the 17th at 1 p.m. Pacific time. We have lots of guests line up, just like we did for the last 2 years. We did these the 2 previous years for 20th anniversary.
All I'll
of Return
announce
of the
is myself, Rags, Fringy, and Gary.
There you go.
may be a few other extras.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Looking forward to it. It was tons of fun to work on, by the way. It's great.
Well, thank you so
palette
much
cleanser.
for you came through it a lot of some people will shy away from a 4.5 hour recording, but you didn't.
Hell no. Oh my God,
I
you're
mean, it
here
is
every
Lord of
time
the
I
Rings,
need you.
so.
I owe you that much. But it's also fun. I mean, it wasn't like work or anything. It's like, oh, you're making me watch Lord of the
Damn,
Rings.
I gotta watch Lord of the Rings.
Damn
with
it.
people I like.
All right. Damn, I got to watch Doctor Who is how I feel, actually.
It's actually, yeah.
The last David Tennant episode, or is it the last, is tomorrow. I will be doing a members-only watch party for the last one, and then probably a review. We got a couple of clips. So just to recap a little bit, Children in Need Special, they destroyed Davros. One of their biggest villains. In Star Beast, it was a giant trans allegory, and they the worst part though is they undid the Dr. Donna story.
Yes, they did,
which is fucking terrible. Then there was the Wild Blue Yonder, which was a better episode than Star Beast, but still shit. And they reaffirmed the timeless children. The Doctor's gay, and Isaac Newton is not white. Which is still one of the best.
History says
I love
otherwise.
that. If anyone hadn't seen the episode, they'd be like, "Why was what?" Like, you're just like,
well, dude,
And it's funny watching the shills defend the creative
one of the
decision there,
best
too.
DMs I got is I'm walking into LA Comic Con. I get a DM from MauLer. He's like, "Oh, I guess Isaac Newton isn't white anymore." I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" He's like, "Oh, you haven't seen Doctor Who yet." I'm like, "Oh shit."
That's the best thing, though. You could be talking about any movie, TV
Yep,
show,
I
or
know.
news outlet.
Be more
Just something
specific.
on Netflix. That'll
Yep.
do.
So
But
which
even the
cri-
main
which,
plot didn't make sense. Like the entire thing revolved around why is this ship and this robot moving really slowly? And then it comes down to because they can read human minds. So if you move slowly, they can't work it out. But they specifically said that it can't read the minds of the robot. So why is the ship moving really slowly? I still
just blow up the ship. Why didn't you just
blow it up?
No,
Just
They can't read the ship. Like, oh,
I went back and you guys are right. There is no explanation why they didn't just blow up the fucking ship. There's none.
They just go
Gary,
slowly.
They
Everything
think they've
moving
explained
slowly.
it.
Oh.
The answer, the question is like, so picture yourself as a captain, and she's in the control center, and she's like, "Oh my god, what do I do?" And they're looking at her, and they're slowly becoming her, and she's like, "If I press all of the buttons that makes the ship self-destruct in 10 seconds, they'll know because they're currently reading my mind and copying me. So what I have to do instead is prevent them from copying me by shutting myself out into space and dying, but also setting the self-destruct for 2 years or however long, so that it takes so long that they can't perceive the plan from the copying. They can only perceive your like thoughts and understanding from a recent amount of time. But the first question you'll have is like, okay, just because you set it to explode in 2 years doesn't mean that's a long-term thought to understand. That's a short-term thought. You just thought, I'm going to blow it up in 2 years. That's the so they know.
So the moment
they
she
know.
thought it, they knew it.
They knew
but
it.
secondly, just blow it up.
Yeah.
Just hit explode.
And they won't have time to catch up because it took them time to catch up, which was well established in the show. It made no sense. None.
No, and that that hit a lot of what I had to praise about the episode, because I've seen a lot of people say like, oh, well, that's more of a return to form, that episode. And I was like, I don't know, man. The RTD, the best episodes from him, like Midnight, that people are comparing it to. It's like, you don't understand. That's the writing of Midnight is fucking leagues ahead of this.
Yeah, it's legendary. And that's what's sad about this is Russell T Davies accomplished as a gay man what he wanted to. He like nobody gave a fuck. He wrote really good Doctor Who. That's normalization. That's looking past. For one, you don't need to look past it. Who gives a shit if he's gay? He writes really good fucking Doctor Who. And it's like he didn't learn his own lesson and he got bitter. And I don't know if it was the treatment of Chris Chibnall, who was shit. And the BBC was treating the fans like shit, and the fandom got split. I don't know what it is, but it comes off as super bitter. And now he's saying stuff like this, which is like, this is how you kill your comeback in the crib.
Yeah, this is baffling to me. Like you'd think the intent for someone making a show would be the opposite, to give something what the fans want.
He revived
this is like
it. This is his baby, essentially. All this new Doctor Who is his baby. And it comes across like he's trying to kill it.
And he's going to kill it, yes.
Yeah. It makes no sense. Like, he should be the one that cares about this more than anybody. And it just comes across as, this is what I've always wanted to do, but I was never allowed, and now I can.
Do you think he saw Chibnall's episodes and he's like, hey, nobody kills this but me?
Yep.
I
brought
you into this world, I'm going to
take you out of it.
So this article, I mean, the framework of this article is, it's going to upset diehard fans because it's going to go from more sci-fi to fantasy. Well, it's been like whimsically. It's not as hardcore sci-fi as Star Trek,
right?
Or Battlestar Galactica, which, by the way, 20th anniversary today. It premiered 20. That's fucking. I feel old. 20 years ago today, the Ronald Moore's Battlestar Galactica premiered with a great opening. Yeah, it's always been very whimsical, and now it's gonna be more fantasy, which sounds cringe. It's just not a good idea.
Yeah.
The thing is, the way it always was, especially with sci-fi or in Doctor Who, that you will get away with a lot just by giving some kind of fake scientific answer.
Yep.
Even if it doesn't make any sense, they'll just accept it. Whereas when it's fantasy, it sounds like you're not even trying to do that, and you're just gonna go, no, it's magic.
It's magic.
It's like it's laziness.
No, like, give me reverse the polarity over it's just magic. Okay.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, obviously that works for certain genres, but not Doctor Who. I mean, this is just garbage.
Are these guys gay? Like,
yeah,
these guys
yes. We're gay. Yeah. If you scroll down, you can see his shirt.
Yeah,
and
scroll down a
he's
little
gay.
bit. Scroll down a little bit. This will answer your question.
That answers.
Oh no,
Yes.
no.
Well,
I
you
don't know that for sure. No.
It looks like they are.
They might be.
That's my input.
For the audio listener.
Thank you, Ryan. We appreciate it.
You must get paid the big bucks.
Oh my
so which clip would you like to go into?
I want to start with the first
couple.
one. Okay, not the one where he meets the toy maker, because that one's not bad. Like that one,
okay.
If I had seen that in isolation without seeing these two previous specials, I would say that looks like a Doctor Who clip. I want to talk about the one where the guy comes out and they basically, I'm right about everything. Where the cars are crashing and Doctor's like, what's going on? He's all, I can't drive.
Gotcha.
Yep.
You did used to be a woman.
True.
You're British.
Is he supposed to look so gay?
Yeah.
Yeah,
probably
it's
supposed
Neil
to look
Patrick
pretty
Harris.
gay. Yeah.
Yeah, that looks like some cabaret shit. So yeah.
Is it called the Toy Maker? Does he make them for kids?
No,
What
no,
kind of toys?
No,
Okay.
no. He likes to manipulate people. Interdimensional creature. Very powerful. In some incarnations, like a different universe's version of the Time Lords.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I can change him.
Gay.
That's mostly
Probably
in books
not.
and comics. So. R.I.P. Doctor Who, everybody. R.I.P. Doctor Who. But yeah, some of the you can't blame the fans when they see something like that, and if they're feeling like, "What is this about us?" It might be, because it has been since this. By the way, this is a 60th anniversary that is supposed to be a celebration of Doctor Who. Has it felt like that for 1 second?
Just feels like random episodes to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't even feel like a special.
No.
Yeah.
And it's going to lead into the Christmas special with Shooty Gatwa, where we're going to have singing goblins.
That dude's so screwed. I mean, the numbers are so bad right now. I mean, with Tenet back, I mean, his numbers have to be below Jodie Whittaker's.
Yeah,
at this
they have
point.
to be disappointed. They didn't get, like, even on the extended reviews, they didn't get 10 million people watching. They've got to be disappointed. They didn't even crack that Jodie's first episode numbers, which were like 11 million people.
You can't get bigger than Tennant and Davis. Those were the tag team that would either revive it or just be like, no, it's gone. And it's the latter.
Looks like it's gone.
Looks like it's gone. You can't go home again. So we've seen one franchise pull it off by accident, which means doing something that made the fans happy that could have brought them back, but it didn't. And that was Star Trek Picard Season 3, which is the last franchise I would have thought it would have happened in, to be honest with you. But Star Wars ain't going to do it. I mean, Andor, MauLer likes Andor, but like...
I've said before, Andor's not quite the same as Star Trek Picard Season 3. Andor regards, like, no characters you actually know. So, you know what I mean? Like, for TNG fans, Star Trek Picard Season 3 is a bit... You get to have, like, a bit of healing done. But Andor doesn't heal anything. It's its own isolated thing. It's a prequel to a prequel that few people care about. So there's just it's such limited scope to even repair anything.
Yeah,
like I said, even 2 good seasons of Andor, if they had it, that doesn't do anything for Star Wars overall.
You're right. And there's few things I found better than the moment when the TNG crew walked on the Enterprise D for the first time and it lit up and it was all bright and the beige and the carpet on the floor. And then they took that was fun.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Music, dude.
It was amazing.
Oh, that was awesome. It was great. Cool. So before we get to soups.
Wait, Gary, you need to explain this.
What I do?
It's just brought to my attention here.
Oh, shit.
The Marvels turned out to be the most erotic, sensual depiction on screen of women I've ever seen. A total disaster for the cynics and a celebration of overdue progressive messaging. I was delighted, and I'm looking forward to seeing this masterpiece many more times.
Sometimes
what
I knew
the
it.
heck?
Grant
What?
I've been exposed.
What the heck is this, Gary?
I love the Marvels.
I thought we knew you.
This is Echo Chamberlain.
Back in 2019.
Did an AI voice. Me and Drinker too. Both praising, and Steven Spielberg and Quentin Tarantino and Martin Scorsese, all praising the Marvels. And holy shit, I could not believe when I heard that. I'm like, oh my god, how'd you get my voice in AI?
Creepy, dude.
It's
AI.
really creepy. It's creepy.
It's getting so good.
Go watch his video. Go subscribe to Echo Chamberlain. Good dude. I've been exposed. That's going to be. I don't think it'll be as bad as Jeremy's Last Jedi video that used to get recycled over.
Yeah, that was AI. That was AI.
That was totally AI.
Yeah.
Right. I have to rethink this, man, because it will just be a disaster. I don't know if we should do it by. Let's do it by email. My wife will hate me for this.
Oh yeah, how are we gonna set this
No,
up?
I can do a
You can do
Q&A
it?
and people can drop it in the and I'll take pictures of it later.
Okay.
And we'll
Okay.
collate it.
So I'm writing a book. I'm writing a book, and it's coming pretty far along. We have some. I still have some things to do. You know, it's going to take 6 weeks to get this worked out. I got to find some artists. I found a couple already. But it's going to be a regular book. It's going to have comic splash pages on it. But this book is going to be a memoir. So I blame Chris Gore. He talked me into this. People have asked about this, you know, throughout my time in recovery. Like, I should write a book about my story. I'm like, I can't write. I can't even spell. But Chris Gore talked me into it. So we've been working on it this entire year. And it's still got a few months to go, but it's basically a memoir, and it's not like some YouTube thing, right? So the YouTube's part of it. It's at the end, and I'm really trying hard for it to not be it's not a vanity project. It is supposed to be a book telling my story, so people. Kind of like what I said. Yesterday was my 30th anniversary of walking out of Folsom Prison. Which thank you, which I didn't even like realize until like the day before. I'm like, holy shit, it's been 30 years. But it's supposed to it's gonna tell my story, and it's gonna be kind of fear and loathing, but it's not gonna make any of it look good. You know what I mean? I'm not here to make the drug lifestyle and my criminal behavior anything other than what it was, which was horrific. Right. So it's supposed to be kind of an inspirational story that like overcoming adversity, and hopefully it can inspire more people, especially if they're struggling with alcoholism or addiction. That's the point of the book. So that's the point of the memoir. It's not to be some jerk off fest or something like that. Hopefully I pulled it off. I don't know. We'll find out. But that's what the book's going to be about. It's going to be kind of like, my strength, experience, and hope. That's how I shared at AA, and that's how we approach this book.
Wow.
All right.
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
Are you going to do an audio book?
Yes.
And narrate it?
Yes.
Hey, that'd be cool.
Yes.
That's because have you come up with the name for it yet?
Yeah, I can't read
My
either.
Struggle, maybe.
Yeah, it seems like it's about your struggle.
My struggle was
My
taken.
struggle could work.
But it certainly.
Maybe don't do it in a different language.
Right.
German, perhaps?
Well, the publisher is really big on, I was trying to think of something clever. I couldn't. I tried. But they're really big on having Nerdrotic in the title. They want that in the title. So it's going to have Nerdrotic something in the title. But
Nerdrotic struggle.
Nerdrotic struggle. There you go.
Nerd struggle. More like nerd struggle.
But what we need is the subtitle, right? And I want the chat. So the chat that named Friday Night Tights, by the way. We got to give him credit.
Wow.
The chat that named Forbidden Frontier, by the way.
Chat named DFAP.
The chat named DFAP. So
chat knows all, man.
The chat knows all.
You're gonna get a really good answer. You're gonna get a lot of bad ones.
Yes, we are.
A lot of bad ones no matter what.
You're looking for that nugget.
We're looking
McBookface.
Looking for that little piece of corn in the shit right there.
Yeah, we are. So I'm counting on you, chat. Come up with the subtitle.
I'm looking at they're hilarious.
So Nerdrotic.
It's like, think of it. The placeholder is Nerdrotic Chronicles. Think of the subtitle.
Okay.
So that's what I need you guys to think of.
Nerdrotic Chronicles. The little corn in the shithole of San Francisco.
There you go.
Right?
or like the little corn in the shit of life. Something like that,
The little corn that could.
The little corn that could.
The little crackhead that could.
Be funny, be clever.
I still think Crisis on Infinite Tijuanas. Still a classic.
Yes.
They didn't think that was as funny as I did, but Get
out of here, publishers. What do you know?
Maybe we can do like
maybe
we can do a variant cover with Crisis on Infinite
yes.
Tijuanas. I
There
think
you
that
go.
would be
Nerdrotic Chronicles, from meth to a million.
Hey.
It's actually pretty good.
It's actually pretty good. Write that down.
The art of the nerd.
But I'm not at a million yet. That's the problem.
Yeah, well, you got to release it when you hit a million.
Yeah.
Put an asterisk next.
Just assume a
I'm
delay.
not counting my chickens before they're hatched. all right?
Maybe.
Yeah. So yes, and X-Ray Girl's going to handle this, and no guarantee we're going to use it. But if we do use it, the person will get credit. You'll get credit. You'll get and a book. I'll give you a book. It's something else.
Paid exposure.
You get paid exposure, buddy. Or lady. There's 9.9% out there. Hell,
Yeah.
ladies.
Hell yeah.
I see you, ladies.
Almost double digits.
Almost. Hey, Lord of the Rings, because apparently that book with no chicks in it, like chicks love. Women love that book. And bless you for it. Because there's a lot of, really cool dudes in it. And they like dudes. Speaking of dudes, I watched Lady Ballers. Has anybody here seen Lady Ballers?
Ooh,
I have.
haven't seen it
No.
yet. I need
You
to
haven't
see
seen it yet?
No, I got to see Godzilla -1 this week though. That was
What did
I
you?
was
Oh,
excited
Ryan,
about.
what did you think of Godzilla?
I thought it was incredible. I was really not expecting a lot. I'm not a huge Godzilla fan. I especially am not a big fan of what they've been putting out lately. Mostly because the humans are just fucking trash. I'd rather just see the fucking monkey and the lizard fight each other for half an hour or for an hour and a half. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
I'm really annoyed by all the surrounding.
You don't like humanity.
Humans. I don't, just in general, but especially not in those movies. So I was expecting it kind of whatever. This movie, I was connected to the human part of the story. I do think there's a little bit of, I don't know if it's because of Japan, or it felt like there was a little bit of overacting in some ways.
Yeah, they do.
Especially by some characters. I think that's just a Japanese thing, but I was able to get used to it.
Korean and
And then, but the Godzilla stuff itself, they alternated from making you think of the movies from the 60s or the 50s, the super old ones, and paying homage to that, to also a just super frightening, terrifying being. The different iterations that you go through of Godzilla throughout the entire thing, throughout the different years. It was cool. I was drawn in. I really enjoyed it. I think what they accomplished on that tiny of a budget, $15-20 million, is remarkable.
Phenomenal.
Considering the crap that we've been seeing. And this is all it is. Yet it's a simple story. It really is. And I think when you look a lot of the massive movies that have done really well at the box office over the past couple of years, I think one common thread is they're quite simple stories. There's a reason. It's everybody can associate with that. Everybody can understand that. It's not overly complex or convoluted. It's a simple, well done story, and technically, it's a wonder. Honestly,
it is.
I think
A Marvel.
Elgato. Sponsored by Elgato.
Sponsored.
I think it's either my 4K or it's the USB connectors in.
I think it's it's the cables
in my Meta PC, because it doesn't happen on my other one. So I think there's cable.
Do some testing.
We'll do some testing, but I'll just give me a second.
But yeah, Godzilla is such a good movie. I found myself getting lost in it too. I was in depth on these characters and where they were going with their life and all this stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, there's a skyscraper-sized monster that's going to come and destroy the city. I forgot about that because the character story is so good. So if you haven't watched it, I don't know what you're doing.
I'm watching
crushing
it again.
out there.
I'm
So
taking
go
the
watch it.
Yeah, they expanded it today into 2,500 more theaters. I don't know about the IMAX showings. If there's still IMAX showings out there, definitely go and see it. Absolutely. That scene where they're in the boat and they're dropping mines and you see Godzilla's Jaws. That is a all-time classic cinematic scene. That is that frame is going to be remembered for
his eyes.
Time. It's
The,
Holy shit.
The introduction to Godzilla is a scary ass scene.
It is.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
It's dark. He's smashing people. It's scary.
He's fucking people up, and
he's little Godzilla.
Yeah, and it means something to the
Baby
story.
Godzilla.
And I think again, I don't want to spoil anything from this movie from anybody. But they explain, your questions are going to be, why doesn't America get involved? Why doesn't the Japanese government get involved?
Yeah.
They explain that. They it gets explained.
Interesting.
And it's right after the war, so everyth's fucked up. They're living in worse than shit. It might act. No, it looks like where Dan Vask lives.
Shambles.
It looks like Dan Vask's house. And I mean, aside from
obviously,
the
this is after people always talk about the fucking atomic bombs and shit, but what happened to Tokyo, the firebombing of Tokyo, was that was a mass casualty event, mass damage. It was insane. So that's kind of where they set up. At least a couple people are there. They're trying to recover and restore a lot of the shambles of Tokyo where these people lived during the war.
To be fair to Japan, as far as looking like Dan Vask's house, there isn't groups of murderous children running around like in Dan Vask's country. I burned him yesterday, and it's not going to be the funniest burn or the most popular burn, but it's my personal favorite. I told him to go burn rainforests. I was very proud of myself for that one because we were roasted. We roast each other every couple of days just for fun, and I was very proud of myself for that one. I'm all, that's funny. Let's get to the soups.
Soups.
I love Dan. Okay, fucker. I still want to beat him
Yeah,
like a drum.
Beat him now.
I am now, but he's got a Christmas song coming up. But we got something coming up too, don't we, Garrett?
We
don't
do.
we? So he comes out with the Christmas stuff. I got something for New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve.
And then you've got Echo.
Little
gift. And then I've got Echo. That's true.
And more Doctor Who.
You say it's crazy, but I think it might be 1 million by the end of the year. I think it's possible.
Oh,
I think it's possible. We still got 3 weeks. I think we still got 3 weeks. We're already what? 20K in.
I need not only General Flynn to retweet and like one of my stuff. I need like Elon to do that for that to happen. So
I don't know.
He got.
I don't know. You've been having to go at Disney enough that you might be.
You see, like General Flynn praise Dan Vask. You're like, this is such a weird world we live in. It's awesome. It's great that I love Dan. Roland the Wretched. Let me get this to where I can read it a little better.
It's crazy that Roland is the first one. Every fucking stream
Every time.
is always Roland.
Because before we start, that's why.
Roland the Wretched in 4 parts for $120.
Damn, buddy.
Az's eulogy was very touching last week and garnered the highest number of live viewers for FNQ. Disparu and MauLer proved that all FNQ was lacking was some proper British representation to take it to the next level. I really hope Az can rest in peace. I have found out, I have been out of contact the last few weeks because I have joined up with the Emu Liberation Front, and we are planning our assault on Shad's homestead. Shad should never have sided with Hal.
Look,
I got
I've
that joke.
spoken to Hal.
Okay,
it was just a misunderstanding. All right.
And now we are going to take him down and all of Australia. That's good. Hey, comics. I know the short jokes have been flying on Monday Night Meltdown, but just remember you are the only man on FNQ I have ever called a gay or a furry. Not fury, furry. I'm looking forward to seeing Chrissy in San Diego, and I am bringing a pineapple pizza for her boy. There you go. There you go.
Oh, what if he's not into it?
You'll eat it. And then he'll be into it. Today's read is Matthew 6:26. Look at the emus. Are they not more valuable than you? It is time to say hail to FNQ. That's Friday Night Queers, by the way. Fellowship, chat, Baby Thor, and Pizza Time Hawaiian Pizza. That's where the best Hawaiian pizza is, and Pizza Time Escondido. Dan Vask is gaily. Lose a bet. Hashtag sub to Nerdrotic. Until next week, so long, gay boys. I love Roland.
So long, gay boy.
Yes, you got it. You did it. Finally. It only took weeks.
It only took forever.
Gotta practice.
To finish my thought, Lady Ballers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Great concept, as Ryan said. This is something that should have been made 15 years ago, 12 years ago. It's low-hanging fruit. It could have been a sequel to Dodgeball. It's a concept that Hollywood would have made with no problem and can't make now. So we have to give credit. It's an independent film, right? So Daily Wire, they obviously didn't put a ton of money into this.
It was only $7 million.
Tried to make an independent comedy. Comedy is the hardest thing to make. The absolute hardest thing to do is comedy. And I think it's a valiant effort that doesn't really pull it off. I did laugh I think Tyler Fisher is fucking hilarious in it.
Tyler's great.
He's fucking good. And Jeremy Boring.
Jeremy Boring's
is
pretty funny.
He's
Yeah.
funny.
Right. He was good in the trailer.
The acting, I would have to say, for all of them not being actors, was actually pretty well done.
The acting, especially for comedy, like the Broken Lizard comedies, the acting's no better or worse than it is in those. In Super
Right.
Troopers or Beer Fest, which are two.
I was
great
thinking
movies.
the exact same thing when I was watching it.
I would say my only criticism was it was a little too long. They needed to cut some. They need to tighten it up because the key with comedy is timing. And if they would have, while they're getting the team together, that took way too long. You could have just taken a minute on each person and still got the same jokes in, and it would have been funny. But some scenes went too long where they show Jeremy like walking out. You don't need to show that.
Yeah.
I would have made it an hour and 20 minutes tops.
Yeah.
And it would have tightened it up. What do you think?
Not only would I
MauLer?
want to tighten it up, I feel like the scope could have been increased a little bit. I got a little bit bored of the jokes. I was like, keep making the same ones. Like, if we can maybe develop it up a bit, because I think it's a brilliantly useful premise that plenty of comedy can come out of, and you could make fun of everybody too. Like, it's kind of perfect, as Gary just said, and I completely agree. Sequel to Dodge, that could make a lot of sense. And I don't know when last time you guys saw Dodgeball, but it's not just funny based on whatever premise they're going for. There's just loads of random jokes, be it like slapstick or observational, even like stand-up stuff that can like get integrated. That's funny as fuck. It like elevates it to one of my favorite.
The characters
comedies
are
of all
funny.
time.
Yep.
Yeah, and
Separate
you
from
get
the premise.
pretty invested in the characters too. A lot of them have like really decent storylines going on, and I would say the same for like Tropic Thunder. As much as that film at its core is like lampooning almost actors as a whole and Hollywood to an extent, but like there's loads of stuff going on in there that's really like fucking funny and awesome regardless of that. And I just think that's what's holding a movie like Lady Ballers, as fucking dumb as it is to say, that's what's holding it back, I think. And I was a little bit like, come on, do something else, do some more, expand a little bit, experiment, because there was some jokes in there that didn't have anything to do with their premise that I thought were kind of funny, like when they said how many badgers have you killed it? He said all but one. And then
mascot.
You get the mascot sort of payoff for it and stuff. It's like they were trying, and I think the big solution would be bring in some kind of maybe experienced editor, and then absolutely bring in a ghostwriter that's a comedian. Get them in.
Like you said, what was the line in the beginning where it's like, "I'll mount your mom." And she's your mom too. That was good. Like there was like, so I laughed. So I mean, I give him some credit for effort, for trying. You're not going to
there's a lot of solid jokes in it. The issue is that what spoiled a lot of them is they over-explain it.
Yeah, but if you think of like the most essentially like straight-laced people that you could think of, it would be the Daily Wire. Of all the people to make a comedy, those would be the last people that I would expect to even try, especially when they're starring in it, especially when the CEO of the company is starring in it.
I'm sorry. I think it actually turned out better than I thought it was going to be. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
It's because it's basically a mid-level comedy, right?
It's
something you expect to see, like we've already been talking about, something in the early 2000s, mid 2000s. But a lot of the jokes that don't land is because they over-explain the joke, and they could have just shown something rather than going in and explaining. And they throw a lot of statistics at you as well, which also kills some of the jokes.
Yeah, like they wasted time visually when you just brought up Dodgeball MauLer, and they don't waste a fucking second in that movie.
No,
like
that's fast. Yeah.
And
comedies have to be, well, for the most part, comedies have to be pretty fast paced.
Yes.
I don't know who has writing credit on the movie.
I'm looking at it right now. So Jeremy Boring,
Boring, just him.
Ryan Hoffman, and Nick Sheehan are the writers.
So yeah, they
And
needed somebody that was a comedian that knows timing, that could just
I don't think
chop it.
any of them have done enough
needed
comedy.
to help them make some of their points a bit more subtle as well. Like
yes,
because
it's about sledgehammer
like
sometimes.
how important marriage is, and I was like, okay, like it's fine to have that opinion. I'm just saying.
There's an interesting thing with comedy where you have to know the level that your audience is at in order to pitch it slightly above them, so they need to work out the joke, whereas not too much so they don't get it. because if you just state something and it's too obvious, then no one finds it funny. And
Right.
so there's a lot of understanding that needs to go into that I'm not sure like a CEO of a company is really equipped for.
No, but like for a
that
first
might be a little bit of ego, but
For a first time, though,
First
that's
time
really.
is
I'm
like-
glad somebody's trying.
yeah. Like, but again, yeah, it's not paced very well. It's too long, but there are funny moments in it, and like I'm surprised Matt Walsh was funny in it. He was pretty funny.
I think that I've always thought Matt Walsh is fucking hilarious because of his his normal personality, right? He's just
So intense.
dry and so sarcastic about everything. So even when he did What Is a Woman, I thought he was hilarious.
He was funny in that. That
Like,
was
I
legit,
thought he was
yeah.
funny as hell. So it doesn't really surprise me that he's able to pull off that in the movie.
He
But-
did a sketch when someone with his name was going on like a
Dancing with
dancing
Stars.
program,
Oh,
and
like,
that was
it
an
was so
incredible
funny.
sketch. Yeah.
Yes, he's a funny person. Like he's got good timing. He's hilarious.
This movie suffers from the
He's
same thing
unintentionally funny.
Old Dad suffered from, which was its skits that were more in long form that were not super connected at times. You could tell like here's just a bit. And
It's like a 10-minute stand-up bit that got turned into a scene in this movie.
Right.
They just put in there, yeah.
Well, and also the Daily Wire-isms, I think, kind of ruined it too.
Which are
I wish they had a theatrical premiere.
they put Jeremy's razor. I thought,
Yeah, they had a Jeremy's Razors commercial, and at the very end, Matt Walsh pulls off the wig, and he's sitting in the car with Candace Owens, and it's like, if you guys cut that, it's like they totally undercut that movie with that scene. I felt.
Yeah.
I didn't understand the
It's
point
for
of that.
their
Was it-
subscribers.
Was it
Yeah,
to highlight
yeah.
that Matt Walsh had done this whole plan in the movie to try and sabotage something, but he didn't really understand why he did it?
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, is that the joke? That all of that was, he didn't even know why he did it? I don't know, I just didn't follow that one too well. Probably as well because I guess they were trying to be like, the Matt Walsh character was like soy and cucky, but I mean, they didn't give you an underlying like what a bad person he was. He was sort of just, spineless, right?
Yeah.
Like there. But he was kind of nice to everybody, so I was awkwardly waiting. I was like, is he going to turn out to be like the mastermind villain that's been pulling all the strings? And then they sort of almost, they're like, no. I was like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it needed some work at the end. But yeah, if you want to watch it, that's up to you. But they tried. And I actually did laugh a few times.
Gotta try.
You gotta
At
try.
least somebody is.
Well, no, at least somebody's
No, but
trying.
compare that to Disney doing a comedy.
Exactly.
Disney
Yeah.
would not be able to do a comedy that people would laugh at. They'd be just because it would be so on the nose and so blunt. It would end up like a Doctor Who preaching session. They would think that was funny. Oh my god, everyone's a fascist.
There's supposed
Like,
to be
that would their
comedic
joke.
elements in the Marvels.
Yeah, and nobody
Yes,
laughed.
there was.
Really?
It was supposed to be funny.
She-Hulk
They
was
need a
supposed to
full
be a
reset.
comedy.
They can't even do good guy,
Oh, yeah,
beat
yeah.
bad guy. They haven't figured that out yet.
No.
So like, give them
That is a great point. She-Hulk was a comedy, though. Like that
Apparently.
is
all
their
the
attempt at
wrong
comedy.
reasons.
And that was
Like,
so
it was
of all
Velma.
of all the sins of that show, the biggest one is that it's just not funny and it's a comedy.
The Daily Wire project that I'm actually quite interested in seeing how they pull it off is the Pendragon one they're working on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Like,
sounds
that
interesting.
It's like there's a lot going into that.
That really does. It really like they're going all out with it, and I've watched some of the behind the scenes stuff that they're doing, and even from like how I approach, my criticism for medieval fantasy and stuff like that, there's some promising stuff. They're doing some things that are all right, better than what I've seen in other things, but also similar kind of errors in terms of my, love for the medieval period and how it's adapted into fantasy and stuff. But the thing is that there are some things that they're doing better than what I've seen in, say, like Vikings or something like that, and so that's showing some promise. I'm like,
That'd be
okay,
great.
good.
That'd be great.
My hope though is that they don't just have like the because I was listening to comics your show while you were breaking it down, and some of the criticism, I haven't seen it yet, but some of the criticisms was that it's too right leaning. It's like almost just pandering to the right now.
Well, so at some points they get what I call the talking points rather than the message, right?
Yeah.
Which is kind of the conservative version
I
of
hope
that.
they
And
don't
that's
do
where
that.
I feel like this movie specifically is kind of designed like
It's
Lady Ballers.
it's absolutely designed to be that.
But there's a lot of things they could have done that would have been really funny and basically get their point across with basically not throwing out all these stats at you and having to over-explain things.
More effective to do it that way instead of to be like to look at the camera and go, listen
Right.
to me, okay? What's important is this, and you lay it all out because you sort of like I said, the speech. It was like the villain character gave a big speech about how important it is to stay married for children. And I was thinking, what the fuck,
What the fuck is that about?
Like,
Yeah.
what the villain. Yeah. So if they're gonna do the Pendragon, like, is it going to be the Pendragon story? Is it going to be
they're
that
adapting
King
the novel.
Arthur?
They're adapting the
Or
novel.
is it going to be like infused with any of the right politics? Because I don't want that crap either.
I don't think that and Snow White. I don't think that's going to have anything to do with that personally. I think
don't
it's
know.
supposed to be
From what I've seen so far.
The animated
But
show.
but before we go, I do have to bounce. So unfortunately, so sorry to interrupt. I gotta go. I'll talk to you guys later. I'll watch Lady Ballers on Saturday. Bye, everybody.
Take it easy, man. See you, Ryan.
It's just interesting to see like what kind of direction they're going to go with their produced content
Well, the
going
animated
forward.
stuff looks pretty good. Patrick Warburton is voicing one of the characters.
Nice.
So, like, I
Say
saw
what?
that, and I'm like,
Okay.
oh, shit, okay. For the Adam Carolla, whatever the animated series is going to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was in Venture Brothers.
Yeah.
I think they could get their message across by focusing on the values of like family or the values of masculinity or protecting this or sacrificing delayed gratification, those kind of like universal values, rather than doing it specifically politically. You don't have to, like, it's very blunt. Whereas if you do it just off values that would lead you in a certain direction anyway, I think they would end up with the same message, but it would actually have a far greater impact on the people that watched it. Especially in the modern time where everything's become quite... it's about what you own. Everything's far more about money and stuff. I think people are crying out for stuff that has values in it that we would have had before, rather than anything else. They don't want political messaging.
It does have some of it in there, and that was one of the things I was praising about the movie is that you have a good dad. It's a very pro-family message, which I did like. Like I said, the overall plot of the movie I thought was pretty well done, but overall there's just areas in between that they had a lot of poor execution on.
Yep, but I give them credit for effort. I do.
Yes.
Oh, 100%.
100%.
Yeah.
Better than the
Especially
Marvels,
if
that's
doing
for sure.
comedy in the first place.
Oh,
I would never expected them to do a comedy like this.
I know, like
That
this
was-
too, and they get raunchy.
Yeah.
Like it gets properly raunchy, and I like that. I just hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, I
no
agree.
comedy should be 2 hours. No comedy should be an hour and
90
45 minutes. 90 minutes tops.
Yeah.
Also, this is what I was going to bring up. I feel like even though we all admitted like South Park were a bit late to the party, I still thought the Panda Stone episode was way funnier. Like,
Oh God, yeah.
I was like losing it, laughing out loud with that, and I wish that I guess they had the staff to sort of try and commit to making jokes more like that, and then try and make it more subtle, try and focus more so even on the storytelling instead, because like all of our favorite stories, you don't tend to, unless you're a fucking psycho on Twitter, you don't tend to go like, oh, this is my favorite right-wing movie, or this is my favorite left-wing movie. You don't do that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Go on.
I think it's like for a first try, like completely out of nowhere. South Park's been doing this for a long time. They've had a long time to hone,
Oh, of course, yeah.
like
Yes, they
their
have.
craft and stuff. And so I would definitely see this as a first try, and
Well,
like you can build on.
A lot of people would call South Park crass, and so like something that the average man can sort of come up with. And I do think that's part of the power of Matt Smith and Trey Parker is that they can appeal to just everyday people fucking going through their life, seeing all insane shit. But at the same time, they are very journeyed at this point. They're very talented creators. So
Yes,
they're very good at
comedy as
making.
well.
They're very good at making very intelligent arguments seem like it's an everyday man's thought. You know what I mean? Like make it accessible to many people.
Yeah.
Hey guys,
Cartman is like this piece of shit angry child, and yet they cycle a lot of their biggest and most significant, like meaningful points through him.
Yeah.
plausible deniability.
It's a good system.
It worked for Archie Bunker. So
it's
Shad,
not just that.
Shad's got to get out of here. Shad's
I gotta get
sick.
going, guys. It has been awesome. Love yous all. I will see yous next week.
See you, buddy. Thanks for
Feel
having me.
Feel better.
Sorry, Disparu. Finish your point there.
I was just going to say, like I said with comedy before, it's about pitching it slightly above the level that you think people can reach just instantaneously, so they've got to do a little bit of working out. But if you've got if you've got South Park where you've got multiple characters, you can pitch things at multiple levels, and so you can do multiple layers of a joke, and so everybody finds something entertaining.
Yeah, because you get the impression, at least I did when watching Lady Balls, I was like, oh, is the arc going to be that they exploit this gap in the system, and then they realize they're no better than the people they think are destroying the system? And I was like, that works. It's a solid enough story. But you'd like to have a bit more, especially for how long the film is.
Yes, agreed. Not Another Dime has gifted 20 Nerdrotic memberships for $100.
Nice.
$100. And the word I was searching for, but I had a stroke about my book. Was I'm not going to glorify any of the crime or the drug use. It's going to be very raw. Very, very raw and truthful.
You're going to give it to us raw?
I'm going to give you the meat.
my God.
I'm going to give you the meat. I'm going to give it to you raw.
Ooh.
Yeah. Mikey Gussler, huge James Gunn fan. For $50. Just kidding, Mikey. Love you, buddy. Gunn just announced that they are casting the new Supergirl and also announced that she will be in Superman Legacy. So we have another fucking character in Superman Legacy.
Come on. We don't need that.
This will
James,
make her
come
the
on.
656th character added to the Solo movie. Yay. Oh, by the way, they're also going to it's the Supergirl of tomorrow. They got the writer from that woke ass book. And yeah, so his writing crew, aside from Drew Goddard, is the one true writer on his team. Everybody else is shit. Like Tom King, the writer from, I'm forgetting her name. What's the name? Writer from Birds of Prey. Jennifer Hutchinson. The shitty writer from Birds of Prey.
Oh, the movie. Okay,
that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Garrett, there's just so many to keep track of.
I know, dude. It's like Loveless, Waldron,
yeah,
Loveless,
Jessica Gao. Yay. Also, the writer for the Supergirl movie has no experience. That's right. She wrote a comic book. That's it.
Was the
Why do
comic
they keep
book
making
good?
these mistakes? Stop making these mistakes, guys.
A good director does not necessarily make a good studio runner. He is a CEO. He is running a studio. Fucking El Gato. Fucking A. He's running a studio. Kathleen Kennedy was a decent producer, made some coffee for Steven Spielberg. How's her studio running been going so far? Not so good.
I'm sure it's a smoking crater right now.
And I can
That's
argue
a kind way to put it.
Yeah. She's been attached to more projects and had more accolades than James Gunn. Although James Gunn's more creative than she has ever been.
Yeah.
Bernard, I don't know if it's Barnard or Bernard. We'll say Bernard. Sheehan, 3 parts for $50. Hail to the Fellowship. I have heeded the call to build culture, and my response comes in the form of my debut novel, Hard Border. Recently, something we don't have here in this country. Recently released.
Really soft.
It is set in pre-Brexit Ireland and shows the development of the current insanity. The narrative weaves a tale where druids live on in the modern era, strategically navigating political intrigue, corporate espionage, and government corruption to reclaim what they believe is rightfully theirs. The island and everything on it. Thanks for the inspiration. Hope you like it. That sounds awesome. That sounds pretty cool. Well done. Let's see if my camera comes back. Nope.
Welcome to my world, Gary.
Dude, yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Do you use a USB Elgato or?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to use something else because
if you get the PCIe card, it's way more reliable.
I was having the same issues with the PCI.
I got one.
But
Give it to you.
I'll trade you.
It's plugged in.
I'll trade you for a ball that we have here. Are you gonna come down and fix my light for the ball?
I will.
Okay.
Hey Gary, I can give you my PCIe card. I don't use it anymore. I'm using the Atom.
Well, you said it doesn't work.
No, it didn't work for me, but I was having issues because of something else. So
Okay.
it should be fine with you.
Yeah, I'll
Ever
take
since I switched my camera out, I haven't had any problems with it.
Okay, I'll take it.
Switch to Black Magic.
Yeah, that's what I'm using now.
Black Girl Magic. That's what I want to
That's
switch
right.
to.
Black Girl Magic, it has the best
Black
equipment.
Girl Magic. Well, tell me what to switch to, and I'll do it.
I will.
Yeah, I sent you that link, man. I'll send it to you again.
Yeah, send it to me again. It takes like 3 times to send me something for me to see it. Just be real. Drunken Finn for 50 British pounds. That's proper money. Az's second death hurts just as much as the first one. But you didn't have to do him dirty again by replacing him with an eldritch Welsh monster and an English lesbian. I don't know if I can handle this the third time.
That's a good buddy cop movie right there.
I mean, I'm just glad that Az is scheduled tweets for a week, so that everyone thinks he's still around.
I know. Well, it's AI.
All the pre-taped live streams.
Yep.
No, Echo Chamberlain and Grant Gregory have been doing work on his AI avatar for Real BBC, so they've done some good work.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Well done. Ninja Peely on the Streamlab side for.
Wow, that rigor mortis. Eh? Oh,
R.I.P.,
boy.
man.
There it goes. I don't know if you can close the coffin with that.
We're gonna have triple closing the lid, boys.
Rigor mortis has set in.
That is beautiful. Well done, Horny Alf. I met Horny Alf.
Rest in penis.
It's a great
Yeah.
dude.
Ninja Petey for $50 on the Streamlab side. First ever super chat. Will be gentle. Am I doing it right? Ryan Kinnell is proof that you can take the sailor out of the Navy, but you can't never get that seaman out of him. Oh, that's right. He put a beanie on, and it like his skinny little head looks so tiny in a beanie.
That is hilarious.
He does look a bit like a tweaker. You know, if Ryan Kinnell like got the Joe Dirt, he could be Joe Dirt for Halloween. So
Oh
easily.
yeah. He
Oh,
could.
totally. Yeah.
That's a great costume.
He had to run. By the way, he's going to be at the TP USA, whatever it's called. What's it called again, Chrissy?
Yeah, Turning Point USA America Fest.
Yeah.
We're going to save America.
In Phoenix, Arizona.
Phoenix, Arizona, December 16th through the 19th.
And you're going to be there too?
I will be there too. Yeah, live streaming.
Sweet.
Sitting every couple of hours. I'm excited.
Yeah. Peeing every 15 minutes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
Not
yeah.
fitting into my pants. I'm
Yep.
excited.
Oh, man. You ever been? Well, you're a pregnant woman, so you know. Ever been on a road trip with a pregnant woman? Yeah, they take a long time. Just saying. Take a long time. A lot of peeing. William 101 has gifted 20 Nerdrotic memberships for $100. Thank you, William. Bless you. Where is my mouse? There it is. What is this? B Chain. Oh, I got it. B Chain 315 for $100. Hail FNT. It's been a year since I started watching. Well, thank you. Wow, last year where was I? I was in LA. I think I was we were at LA Comic-Con just a year ago. So yeah, and what a year it's been. I'm so glad to have been introduced to so many channels via the gathering of fellow nerds. P.S. I hope Az regenerates into a really brilliant woman when he returns. Well, yeah, he'll fill himself up because he loves man tits. Cheers to the fellowship.
Wow.
Oh, you think I'm going to be? You know what's funny is, so I guess some people really thought he was dead last week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Generally.
And I was just like,
oh my God.
What must you think of me? We sounded so aloof, and we just couldn't care less that he was dead. We're like, oh, sorry, he's dead. And Jeremy went so far as to please leave super chats in his.
Yeah. But that's because that's probably how it would be.
I was actually going to say, it feels like that could be how it goes.
Yeah. Not far off.
That is what Top Gear would do. They've said that
Actually-
repeatedly.
Actually, it checks out. It checks out. Yes. I'd be a little sad, but yes, yeah, he'll be dead for the rest of the month at least.
Yes.
Stephen Patton for $99.99 started an X account for updates and character art for my debut fantasy novel. Already over 100 followers. Oh, congrats! And still going. Also, talking to a cover designer for the release. Feeling happier than I've been in a long time. Wanted to say thanks to you all for the motivation. Hail, being creative is good for the soul. And if you're doing it for you, and just like, keep your expectations realistic about sales and stuff, have fun. And, it's the same way, you have a garage band with your buddies. You might play a couple of clubs, you do some covers, and it's just a fun thing to do. And if you make a couple of bucks, great. But the whole point is just being creative. Again, it's really good for the mind. It's good for the soul. Keeps you happy. Makes you feel like you're working towards something. That's the way I always looked at it. My 9 to
Start a basketball team with your friends.
That would have been a good movie right there.
Yeah. Those arms are so hairy.
Ooh.
I can't
Only
imagine
shave
why.
the top.
Yeah,
Only shave the top part.
Yeah, I was gonna say, where's Eric July with the hairy shoulders? Hail Eric, by the way. I'll pick up your book tomorrow when I can get to the UPS store. Or the multiple orders I ordered, because I accidentally ordered 6 instead of 3.
Jesus.
But some of you will benefit from that because I'm going to give them away. Ministry of Wrong Thing for $49.99. Because Disney is so arrogant that they think they can discard an entire generation of fans without consequences. In reality, the current fans will pass on their hatred of Disney to their children. Disney is burning their generational bridge of customers. They've already done it. So it's not burning, it is burned. They have burned a generation. The comic book industry burned a couple of generations. Star Trek burned a generation. Doctor Who is currently burned a generation that they got back. A generation that they got back. Star Wars burning a generation. MCU burning a generation. Gen Z doesn't give a fuck. And like a lot of people like to put a lot of things on Gen Z. And like any generation, there are a lot of things. There's some based kids in Gen Z. I've got one. And there's some really fucked up kids. And a lot of that has to do with COVID and our government and Hollywood. And social media, but they don't, I mean, like, unless you're going to make a movie in 7 seconds and put it on TikTok, they ain't going to fucking watch it.
Yeah.
Right.
Not everybody, though. My kids, again, thank God, my kid does not go on TikTok. So, Devin Harward has gifted 10 Nerdrotic memberships for, that's
$50. I don't know why I put that there.
I was like, do the math for me, please. I can't do it.
20's 100, 50's.
I'm sorry, I forgot what you said.
10.
Daniel Dombrowski has donated 5,000 Japanese yen. Wait.
What does that translate to, though?
I don't know.
20 Godzillas.
Oh, that's a lot of Godzilla.
That's a lot
of Godzilla. No, it probably could get a Godzilla minus 4K. I can't wait till that comes out.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait.
Steel box?
Better be a steel box. Better be a steel box.
Like red tinted? Oh.
I can't wait to see it this weekend. I might even do a review. Fuck it.
If you get a chance, try it in the D-box seat. It just makes it that much scarier.
Yeah, you like the
Every time
D-box seats.
I do.
Yeah, it vibrates.
Yes, it does.
We don't have those over here.
You don't have D-box? D-box is actually pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing. It's just a little bit short of like smell-o-vision, right? Like getting into the 4D that they did at Disneyland, was it? Where like when they'd squirt water at you, their water would come
that's all
out.
it's missing is the squirt.
Is water.
Yeah.
They can hold off on the
Well,
smell.
I mean, the vibrator squirt. Yeah.
It's missing the squirt. That's all it's missing.
Well, it depends. Maybe it's not, Garrett. So
Hey.
yeah.
Just how you use the seat, I guess.
That's how you use the D-box seat.
X-ray girl's blushing.
That's worth the money then.
She's not blushing. You've partied with
Oh,
X-Ray
please.
girl.
I
She's
know.
like, I'm so innocent Asian girl. Then I get a couple
Where
of
are
White
the
Claws.
shots?
Couple of White Claws.
Yeah.
It's fucking white people suck and drinking Chris Gore under the table. That's what she does.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty frightening.
That's
She
tough.
still says the white
Wow.
people isn't her, but it was.
It was totally.
Totally.
Yep. Hail FNT, rest in peace, Az. Finally caught an FNT live. Excellent, with MauLer and Disparu as a bonus. Love you all and keep up the amazing work. We love you, Daniel. Thank you.
Aw.
Yeah, having MauLer and Disparu on. Yeah, it's really good because we get, it makes it
Not having Az on, it's really
not having Az on.
It makes the grief a little bit easier to do.
The fact
Whereas there's a bit of joke of like you squash one Brit and two more take its place.
I know.
Yeah. We're like weeds.
No,
Look at gray hair.
You squash one Kiwi and two Brits take his place. So the
I've had an
fact that-
upgrade.
The fact that we had a record episode the first time he was gone. Hilarious.
Amazing.
It was a coincidence.
We did say like you only had to get Elon Musk to tell Disney to fuck off.
I know.
And it was like, yeah, fair enough.
Didn't he say in the last 24 hours they should fire Iger immediately on Twitter? He said that.
Yeah.
It's fucking great. I love it. And he's not
Some of the
wrong.
Best billionaire trolling I've ever seen. Yeah.
I mean, Bob's not going to get fired. I'm sure there'll be a lot of rumors out there. He's going to stay until 2026, and Disney will be where they were in the late 80s, mid 80s, which is at the fucking bottom. Some of you olds out there remember what Disney was like they were a joke. They were a joke in Hollywood. The parks were shit because people just got, they weren't very good. Well, that's going to look like fucking Shakespeare compared to what we have coming for Disney now. And people still invest in this company. It is mind-boggling.
Yeah, and they're a big joke now.
Yep. So glad to see the gorgeous Disparu and beautiful MauLer back on FNT. Here is a donation for a fresh haircut from Machiavellian for $50.
I was going to say someone needs to put the glasses in.
Well, next time we're out there, my wife can give you a haircut, man. So you don't have to pay for it.
Yeah.
I never pay. The reason why it's bad is because I just run shaver over it every time. And then it's like once a year. It's like, oh, that'll do.
That's what I used to do.
It's like everyone else cares about more about my hair than I do.
Paul S. for $49.99. Just ended a meeting with my work team of 45 telling them we won't have jobs guaranteed after New Year's.
Oh, that's rough, dude.
I'm drained. I'm broken. I'm hurting for them and me. Then I get pinged on my phone, FNT in 30. Never been more grateful having you guys here on Fridays. Hail. I'm sorry, Paul.
Feel your pain, man.
Sucks.
Yeah, I can't imagine telling multiple people that. I sucked at firing people. Even when they deserved to be fired, I fucking hated it. I couldn't do it. Kind of a softie when it comes to that. Slaglust for 50 Canadian pesos. The comic book shop is being called a Nazi by the cancel pigs because he was interviewed by Mark Millar. Glad guilt by association doesn't happen here, like canceling on Camelot last minute because he will talk to anyone. No one is that beta, right? Who canceled on Camelot?
He hasn't named them. I saw him tweet about it, but I don't know who it was.
Yeah, it wasn't any of us.
No.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd only cancel if you made me drink that drink again.
Right.
You'd have to be
fight milk
for everybody
like
to be
milk.
Yeah, it's not bad.
In great relationship with everybody all over the internet, and so that you get crossovers every once in a while. But hopefully, you never get at the point of being like, "You're friends with that guy. I'll never speak to you again."
Well, he specifically tweeted out that this person cancelled because of a previous guest he'd had on the show.
Wow,
I heard about that. Yeah,
really
someone
stupid.
canceled because he had someone else on.
I've had many people say that they looked into the show and they can't come on because I've spoken to them. Okay, fine.
Is that something I would specifically tweet out publicly? No, I wouldn't. That's just me though. Yeah, I don't know who it is. I have no fucking idea. I don't care who streams with. I don't care who streams with who. I don't give a shit.
No. I don't have the time to look into channels that I'd appear on to like look at all the guests to see if I agreed with them, and then look into every single person and what they said and see if I agree. That's way too much effort.
That's dumb.
If you'd streamed previously with Satan, I'd be like, all right, hook me up. How do I get to speak to Satan?
Like they speak for themselves. I'm only responsible for what I say, not what anyone else says.
Yeah.
But Slagless, thank you for the 50 Canadian pesos. And no, like the guilt by association thing, especially with the cancel pigs. It's one thing. It's not what I would do, but it's one thing to not be on a show, and it's another thing to try to block another person's way to make money. That's where canceling comes in. A lot of that got thrown my way with the fucking Macarena bullshit. It's like I never talked to her that much anyway, so she tried to come out and say that I canceled her. It's like we never hung out. Like that was never a thing. We were never friends. We were never association. Then going out and calling my wife a cunt over and over again doesn't help either. But yeah, that doesn't help either. But that's not canceling. Like that's not me going after somebody's channel. Don't really fucking care. I'm never gonna get in anybody's way. But there's a lot of that happens a lot on YouTube. There's a lot of fucking betas who count other people's money and try to actively get in the way of their success because they're betas. There's that. That's canceling. That's trying to cancel people. That's trying to cancel people. But I like Camelot. I'll drink Fight Milk again.
I beat him.
You
I want
did?
everybody to know that. I beat his
good.
ass. All right.
Ooh.
I finished that thing way before him.
Yeah,
Into the ground?
Yeah.
Yeah, beat his ass into the ground.
It wasn't
beat
his-
that dick into the ground all night.
It wasn't as bad. Fight Milk, by the way, is eggs in milk, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And it
Okay.
was 4
And
eggs.
whiskey if you can do that.
I didn't do it.
It's eggnog.
Right. Yeah, it's smooth.
Kind of.
It's not bad at all.
It just tastes like milk.
You get a little protein in
Well,
there.
I didn't have real milk because I don't like milk. So I had
What'd you
almond.
have?
I had almond milk.
Why do you say milk like it's spelled with an E?
Or an A. Milk.
I say milk. Milk.
Milk. You say milk with an E.
Milk.
It's not
Instead
as
of
bad
milk.
as X-Ray Girl saying iron.
What?
Milk
know.
with an I.
Iron.
Egg?
Maybe it
Yeah,
was...
X-ray girls say iron.
Iron.
Yeah,
Iron.
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 Iron man.
I need
sounding.
to get a
No,
bag of iron.
say bag.
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 I need to get my bag, eh?
Bags.
And they've got sorry. It's like you've got a W in there. Everything.
Milk.
Hail FNT. Oh my God, is this Xena?
It's an Maximus.
Xena Maximus?
It's an Maximus.
Xenaximus. Xenaximus. I did it. I did it. Sorry. For 50. Says, Hail FNT, been looking back at many older, better comic book movies of the past lately, and I've been curious of your own opinion, what would you say has been a comic book movie that has come closer to the original source material than any other? That's easy. As far as like adaptations, Sin City is the single best comic adaptation from page to film ever made. Period. It's the comic book.
I would say it's such a good adaptation. It's not even an adaptation.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what?
It's like a motion comic, and it's pretty insane. But movie, like if you're saying capture the spirit, Dread.
Yeah, Dread's a great film.
Dread did a good job. There's actually a bunch. Superman the movie really captured what Superman was. Spider-Man
Blade.
1 and 2. Blade. Yeah.
The Marvels.
Obviously. Well, actually, you know what? If you're talking adapting from the comic, you're not wrong. It's just not very good. It's just not very good. Bird up for $50. Hail FNT. For anyone who's able to see Godzilla -1 but hasn't yet, please go see it. Really, it is that good. It's important to trash bad Hollywood movies, but it's also important to support good movies from outside Hollywood. Hail Godzilla, Bird Up. I could not agree more.
Agreed.
It's pretty universally loved. Critics, fans. I haven't seen something like this. Well, I mean, we've seen a couple examples. You know, I would say One Piece live action was. I think this is a little more loved than One Piece live action, but just by this much. But you will not regret seeing it. It's not too long. It's got a great story. It's got enough Godzilla in it. The music is fantastic. It's something that actually needs to be seen in a theater, unless you got like this a pretty kick-ass theater at home. Shit.
Yeah, if you're lucky, you can if you can get an IMAX screening. I don't know if it's still in IMAX now, but it is worth it. Like this is the movie to go see.
There's other digital, like the digital screenings will be worth it. If you have Dolby sound, you'll be pretty happy. You'll be pretty happy.
Or XD at a Cinemark theater chain. Any of those large format, go watch it. It is worth it.
Yep.
And if anyone's like me, I used to only watch kind of Western stuff, and then just because of the dearth of entertainment, I started watching like random Korean TV shows, and they're just better, right? And it only takes one, like if you watch this movie and you think it's good, then go out and start looking for other foreign TV shows and stuff. I've posted lists before on Twitter of the stuff I like from Netflix and things like various different Korean shows, and you find very quickly that it's not like a one-off. Like they're just better at this stuff nowadays than we are. And I think it's because of the values. I think it's because they have a more traditional culture, and so their values align more with us than Hollywood's. But either way, it is a case of once, if you are used to watching only Western stuff, once you get past that, you never really go back. I don't think. I don't really care about Western entertainment anymore, to be honest. I'm just here to watch it burn and laugh.
Yeah.
Right. Mockery, savage mockery. It's fun. And it also helps us achieve balance. And yes, if that mockery leads to the complete destruction of Disney, I think the world is better off for it. If Disney burned completely as a company and did not survive past tomorrow, I wouldn't fucking miss it at all. Like,
I also think it's the only path to correction, because I think one of the reasons why it's going on is ego. And they are so egotistical and so confident in themselves that mockery and humiliation is literally the best way past it, because that is the only thing that'll break it.
Yep. Jesus Davila, who I met at LA Comic-Con. Great guy, has gifted 20 Nerdrotic memberships for $100. He had a Yara shirt on. Yara. Hail Rip-A-Verse. Again, getting that Chuck Dixon Alpha Core out there. That's good. Neil Oakley for 50 British pounds. Disney should realize DEI for writing is DUI for driving. Shouldn't be encouraged and only creates catastrophes. You are well said. Well said. Half-shaved bridge kitten for $50 says Vegemite can go on pizza. No, it can't. Fuck no. No.
Actually, that is an interesting thought.
But they say, but no gay fruit, thanks. Well, to point out what people pointed out to Dan Vask yesterday when he said essentially the same thing, tomato's a fruit. Tomato is a fruit.
Come on, let's be real. Come on.
Not really, though.
Intelligence is knowing tomatoes are a fruit. Wisdom's knowing not to put it in a fruit salad.
Yes.
There you go. And wisdom is putting pineapple on pizza with some jalapenos and some
that's just repulsive degeneracy.
Thank you.
You're kink shaming.
Yes.
Some kinks need to be shamed. Okay.
And that should go in the book as like things that I used to do that I've now moved past and should learn the stuff.
Now I'll probably use the I hurt myself to feel now, so you know. Don't worry about.
I ate pineapple pizza today.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Don't worry about Croft. It's another freebie marveling at how far Zombiewood crawled. Bridges burn while demanding nobody watch, then insult everyone for listening. R.I.P. the poor Dr. Az. You're right. They're like, fuck you, bigots. Come see our movie. Bigots.
No.
Hardcore fans are going to hate this.
Yeah,
okay.
I know.
Great job.
Great marketing.
All right, click.
Great marketing.
Somebody did. Oh God, you son of a bitch. What the?
It came back.
All right. So
It's like,
the only person to be able to pull that off ever was Edward James Olmos. Came out to Comic-Con and told Battlestar Galactica fans, if you like the first series, you're probably going to hate this. And it pissed everybody off till we saw the show. The show spoke for itself. Ultimately, the show spoke for itself. I don't think we're getting that from Russell.
No,
Russell had
not
his
the slightest.
They were okay. These specials were made to bring back old fans and bring in new ones. That ship has fucking it never got out of port. Like I said, it's sunk. It sunk at the docks.
I was astonished at how aggressive that first episode was.
Mm-hmm.
And he said it was meant for kids, so they thought they could get away with just being as blunt as a sledgehammer to the face. And because it was meant to kids, they're not going to understand what it is anyway. To them, it'll just be normal. But when you realize the intention behind these episodes, you would have thought you should at least be smarter than that.
Right?
He should be smarter than
I
that.
completely agree. The way that he did it made it so that he could be clipped and clowned on by everybody all over the internet.
Exactly. Yeah. MauLer and I discussed this. Is if you're going to put a trans character in it, why don't you just put the character in and don't acknowledge it at all? Just it's a character. Just don't say
When you write them as an awesome character.
Cool thing
yes.
to do.
Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah. Try that. And that's one of the biggest problems. Even with the female lead with the MCU, it's not just their female leads. It's their female leads acting like dudes saddled with fucking the message. Same with Jodie. You know what? I'm not going to sit there and defend the first female doctor played by Jodie Whittaker because she came out and said previous Doctor Who was a practice in the male gaze, which was a major fuck you to the fans. But if she hadn't have said that, I would have blamed Chibnall. I'd have blamed Chibnall because he put in a female doctor and listen, they knew they had to try harder. She should have been out kissing babies, shaking hands, trying to ingratiate herself with the fandom. You know what she did? She stopped watching previous Doctor Who because it intimidated her. She insulted the fans, and then they saddled her with a bunch of fucking agenda shit. She was doomed to fail. She was doomed to fail, just like this is doomed to fail, just like the Marvels was doomed to fail, because they want to try to... They talked about it in South Park, and they were trying to be very nice about it. But when they said the Panderstone, when they were talking about the Panderstone, it was going to help them make movies for everybody. That's a very nice way of saying nobody.
Yeah. Well, the other thing, too, is if she actually went out of her way to ingratiate herself with the fans, despite the criticism she was getting, the whole point is to try to win people over.
With charm.
And watch your thing. Exactly, with charm. But the thing is, when you go... fuck you. It's like
Amon
no one's gonna
Villani.
want to watch you.
Nobody's giving Amon Villani shit. You want to know why? Because she's charming.
She's charming.
She's nice.
100%. She's ingratiating
for a
to the
fact,
fandom.
If she had said something cringe and we had said anything about it, they'd have been like, wow, going after her for her, and then names a bunch of random shit instead of what she said.
But young
but
Amon
this wouldn't happen, right? Where it's
Right.
like, oh, that's weird. They're not going after her. You'd think they would because they're so bigoted, but nope.
No. All of a sudden, all the bigots just respect her because she's, you know what?
She's not an idiot.
She's not an idiot. She's smarter than most of the fucking people in Hollywood. So good for her. And probably because, you know what? She wasn't brought up in that culture. She probably has a pretty decent set of parents and wasn't brought up in that culture. And hopefully it doesn't ruin her because she sounds like she's a good kid. You know?
Yeah.
And also didn't get there because of identity in the first place. If you get hired for your identity, you have a built-in reason for it to continue. You don't want it to stop because then you will lose your position. And so everybody in that system has their entire life, their career, built on making sure all of this goes. And so they'll slag anybody off in order to keep that going. Because if it comes down to their money or insulting you, they'll throw you under the bus every time.
In a hot second. Absolutely right. Yeah, MauLer and Disparu, pretty good guests, right? Well, they're more than guests. They're, like we said before the show, they're family around here. Okay, we can stop being gay now. Ned of the Vale has gifted 50 Nerdrotic memberships for $250. And you guys will be able to. I don't know if this is this really a benefit for members? You're going to watch me watch Doctor Who tomorrow at 12:30 Central, 12:20 Central Time. We're going to do another little watch party. And we'll see if I throw anything this time. The only reason I didn't throw something harder was I was at my brother-in-law's house, and I didn't want to break anything. So
Like a monitor.
That's why they want to watch. It is a benefit.
Gary, remember when Andrew Garfield's head broke one of your monitors?
Yeah.
I do.
your poor
Classic.
monitor.
Classic.
I do.
I was worried for Andrew Garfield's head.
Over a
Gary's having a gamer moment, okay?
dude, a Twillick was gonna fucking fall down.
You can't start
Dude,
a story with a
he's having
Twill.
PTSD right now.
Oh, remember?
So is monitors.
The Twillick dancer at the Galactic on the Galactic fucking whatever the fuck it's called, Star Cruiser, was she wasn't just a singer, she was fighting for the rights of her people. She was a social justice warrior and a revolutionary.
Her voice.
So long.
And I'm like, fuck. I'm just so sick of it. I'm so fucking sick of everybody's social justice. Again, I went back because I've been recommending it to Jeremy. I went back and I'm rewatching Silicon Valley, which is a fucking masterpiece.
So funny.
And it's so applicable to today. In the first fucking episode, there's shit applicable to today. Watch it if you can. It's on Max. You can get it in physical media, especially those first two seasons. It's Mike Judge, so it's Office Space, Idiocracy, and it's just as good as those films.
It's really good.
So fucking good. Oh, God. Daniel Dombrowski has gifted 10 Nerdrotic memberships for $50. But when they introduced Gavin Belsom, he's like the Google owner.
Yep.
And he talks and all there's just pictures around him of him hanging around a bunch of African children and talking about how and the whole theme of, and they picked this up directly from Silicon Valley. That's why the people who worked there were so they liked it because everything is framed in the we're making a world a better place. So that's the whole theme of the first season, and it's fucking hilarious. I don't even want to ruin it for you. Go watch it, especially when T.J. Miller's character drops a bunch of shrooms in a bathroom to try to come up with a title, or with the name of the company, with a better name of the company, which is so fucking funny. And Eric Guidewall has gifted 5 Nerdrotic memberships for $25. All right, we're gonna have to wrap it up there. I got a couple of videos to make this weekend, then we'll get to a square up Monday night. Square up, and maybe I'll game. Maybe there'll be some gaming.
What are you gonna play?
You're gonna play the finals released yesterday.
That's it. No, I'll probably
the day before. You should play that game.
I would pay for that.
It'll be Return to Moria or Hogwarts Legacy or Witcher 3. One of the three. But I did get I got the Indiana Jones bundle. Bumbling Bumbles bounce. No, the bundle, Fate of Atlantis.
Oh, nice.
It was on Steam for like $5.
Yeah.
Wow.
Steam has massive sales.
Yeah,
I
maybe
love
that.
Steam.
I don't know.
A steal.
You know what I need to find? The Fifth Element game. The Fifth Element PC game.
I had no idea there was even a game for that.
Yes, there was. There was a PlayStation. There was there's the race, not the taxi one. There is a Fifth Element game for PlayStation, and there's
Like
one
a point and click
for PC. There was one for PC. It's been so long. I don't know if I don't
an
know
adventure game.
Yes, it's got Lilu in it and everything. Corbin Dallas.
Nice.
Yeah, there's a book that goes along with it too.
Oh, 1998.
Yeah, no, there was so little for Fifth Element. I bought every collectible that was associated license wise, and it's like 5 things.
That's such a great movie, man.
It is literally just called The Fifth Element.
Yes. I need to find a place where I can play that game. I want to play that game.
It'll probably be on an old ROM site somewhere.
Probably.
Oh, I think I might have it.
Okay. You can maybe show me how to use that because I'm old. Not that I'm really old.
No.
It's been a really fun show, as always. I love hanging. I stream with my heroes. I do.
Aw.
Well, except for Garrett, but just kidding.
Yeah, you employ him.
I love Garrett. He's my quarter black magic.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah, I got that clip in there real quick. That was good.
That's right.
See, I watch the shows. I'm in the audience, bro. I lurk.
Yeah, you do. Well, you came in from behind the scenes on a couple of shows today. Came through, man, big time, big time. Yeah, what
Came
clip
in from
did you-
behind.
You came in from behind.
Oh, wow.
And it was a little surprising. What clip did you put in again? Hang on.
Elon.
Oh yeah, it's Elon.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
Stealth Elon.
Stealth Elon. All right. Exodus. What do you got coming up?
This weekend we have Saucy Saturdays with Disparu, myself, and Wicked Virtue. It'll be on her channel. Lots of games. I'm almost at 20K, so if you guys sub, I'm gonna do a 20K celebration. With I don't know. We'll see. I have suggestions. I'm really scared of the whole $50 shot thing because everyone I've talked to was like, "Don't do it."
Oh no.
Yeah, especially after what happened to Rudai.
Yeah.
I think you should do it. Like you,
Yeah.
you can drink more than a Rudai. Lightweight.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So yeah, sub to my channel, please and thank you. And I'll have a video dropping for The Love of Lena, the reality show, episode 2.
That's awesome.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm sure Mark will pimp you out to do something to get. To
Oh, absolutely. He's
Yeah.
like, the bikini. Do something like a 15K or 1.5K or 2K. I'm like, oh my God.
Let's save it for 100K. There you go.
100K?
The bikini needs to be saved for 100K. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Thought.
I'll tell him that Gary said that.
Yeah. Well, I
He's
know.
gonna disagree.
It's like, I'm way more protective than your actual husband. So
He's like, put that bikini on.
The father figure.
Comics division. What do you got coming up?
A lot. I always get shit from my producer for not plugging stuff. So beachpunk.us if you want to go buy merch for the channel. Helps out myself, Toxic Man Flu, Culture Casino. Also check out Culture Casino. Check out our 6-minute dailies because they'll put you to sleep. Also, you can find me streaming every Monday and Thursday on my channel where we talk about entertainment. Wednesdays on Rumble. And of course, you can find me also on Thursdays on Geeks and Gamers Tabletop where I game with the likes of Disparu, X-Ray Girl, Aiden Paladin, and Bill Stranger. A lot of fun there. More Doctor Who content coming your way. It kind of derailed my Miles Morales video because it seems to be kind of popular right now for some reason. Who would have thought?
What, Doctor Who? Oh.
Yeah, Doctor Who.
I didn't think it would be. I thought, like, I was with Disparu. I thought they were going to put out some decent specials and we'd kind of get through that and cringe when Shooty got here. I was wrong. Very wrong.
Like I
Cringe
said, a lot
came
of
early.
lot of angry Doctor Who fans. I totally get it.
It's unfucking believable. We've been through 2 out of 3, and there's barely any content, like actual anything for me to chew on, anything for me to think about in terms of this character and his journey and anything. It's like you wasted all the fucking time.
Yeah, the last episode was very just generic mid-season kind of
Yeah.
episode. Even without all the stuff that, quite frankly, seemed to be tagged on. Like
I
the
honestly
entire
didn't-
start of that episode is just tagged on for literally for the message and serves no purpose like the rest of the episode.
I didn't care for it because like the first episode completely ruined it for me.
Az spoke to me from the dead, and I totally agree with his assessment that I think it was put in there for the diversity and inclusion like as initiative that they had. I completely agree with that. Like that.
Yeah.
Because there was just 2 white people in the rest of the episode.
If this doesn't tie into the third episode in some way, that's the only explanation for it.
Yeah, like they just have a throwaway line like there's wacky things happening all the way through time now, like race swaps for no reason.
And they say Mavity to remind
They say
you of it
Mavity,
several
yeah,
times.
and Russell has done that in the past where he dropped something. Bad Wolf. Bad Wolf gets dropped.
Well, yeah, but that was leading towards like a season finale reveal.
Yeah.
Whereas if there is no reveal in the third episode, the only reason for that is like Pavlovian conditioning to remind you of the start.
Yep.
It is
Right.
literally to train
Agreed.
you as the audience. And like this is a guy who has literally said that he wants to put the message, but also realizes that we need an audience, and he is willing to experiment and try different things to see what works.
Yep.
This is the guy where I like. Hollywood is too thick to do this kind of stuff, but he actually genuinely seems like he's somebody who both has the talent to make good TV, but also wants to make something that convinces people. And so he's willing to try different things to see what works.
Well,
And
the
I think
children's
that's what this
episode
is.
was the Star Beast. The children's
Yeah.
episode.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It was meant for kids, and so it was meant to be more blunt because kids don't have the kind of analytical skills to parse that kind of stuff. But
Yeah, and
then
he
you get to
basically missed that.
the second episode meant for adults, and it was more put into the story. It was not as blunt as the first episode.
You imagine there's got to be that at least happened once in the world where a kid's watching that first episode and they say to their mum like, "What do they mean like guys can't let go of power?" And then the mum's like, I don't know. I don't even know what that's supposed to fucking mean. I guess ignore it because that's bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, what else are you supposed to do as a parent? You just be like, that's just nonsense. Don't listen to that.
Well, it teaches you that you're supposed to give up power.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, who am I supposed to give up power to?
Women. No, wait, no. Oh, fuck.
Authority.
But I thought the women gave up power.
Women give up power, but no.
And men can't because they're power hungry and crazy.
Yes,
Well, they
and-
should. Like, it is
Yep.
a virtue to give up your
women,
power.
When women are in leadership positions, they are completely different from men. They don't chop people's heads off, have empires.
Yeah. There's no historical data on that.
No, not slightest.
No.
Lock
Gary,
their
they don't,
entire
they don't
state
burst out
down.
of the floor and step on a bunch of civilians with their dragon or anything.
No, right.
or send up a load of blokes onto a balcony so they can get possessed by an alien creature and then just watch them walk out the building and never
Right.
say anything again.
Or enslave an entire town of men, women, and children, and then fuck off.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That, yeah.
Look, you'll
speaking
never
of-
understand what she sacrificed for them.
We can't list all of the female genocides. Will be here all day. Come on.
I know, but well, speaking
Trying
of
to wrap the show.
Speaking of crazy redheads, Chrissy, what do you got coming up?
Yes. Come see me. I'll be in New York City December 27th at Stand Up New York, and then San Diego January 5th and 6th at the Mic Drop Comedy Club, and Dallas January 25th at Hyenas in Dallas. Gonna be fun.
Dallas,
Hopefully,
I'll probably see you. I'm going to see you in Dallas.
Hopefully another viral moment at these shows.
Oh, yes. That is the room.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's where the
yes.
allies walked out because you
yes.
made a joke.
Oh, I know that one.
Hey,
Yes.
people! Hey, some people walked out of our
We
panel.
love allies. Really?
Yeah. Some people walked out of our panel. They didn't make a big fuss about it, but they left. 4 people, and then they got replaced by 4 people. It's pretty cool.
Bye.
What, like,
There you go.
what were they expecting? when they
I
sat
don't know
down?
what they're expecting from the death of the modern franchise panel. It's like, not really sure.
It's not as if you've hidden it.
But there you go. Awesome, Chrissy. Look at you out there working all preggers and stuff.
Just gonna try to do as many as I can before I have to push a person out of me.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, good luck with that.
And then I'll never be the same.
I've been in the room. Garrett's been in the room 17
Really?
times.
Yeah,
Looking
17
into-
times
like,
I've been there.
Like looking into the eye of the storm, or just like there.
Yeah, that's called
Oh,
my
yeah, yeah.
wife. I was looking at my
Yeah.
wife's eyes,
Right there.
and that was the eye of the storm. And then they put
Feeling the squeeze.
the squeeze. Well, you did the squeeze. They put the cloth up, and then they sliced her open, and then fucking it was like Predator. Some blood went like that. I'm like, what the
that's
fuck are you
right,
doing to
yeah.
my wife? Yeah,
I always remember
C-section.
coupling.
I've never seen that.
yeah. Oh shit.
Coupling just says there's some areas where you should never see a face. It's like it's never the same.
Oh, by that time though, my wife was so fucked up on drugs, she didn't feel a fucking thing. So
Yeah, apparently when I was being born, she said the pain isn't inside me, it's outside the window. And my dad's like, you
Yeah.
off.
You're out of it.
there.
Yeah.
Is the
Smoking
pain in the
cigar.
room with us right now?
Yeah. So hey, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful process, Chrissy. It's gonna be great.
Life.
Don't worry. Don't let us scare you.
I'll have to live stream it and send everyone a link.
Yes. What?
Like,
You're
go
an
get
influ-
Frank a pizza.
Everything is content, Chrissy. Everything.
Yes.
We need to share every darkest secret, every poop, every message. Everything's content.
Biggest
Content
super chat
birthing room.
gets to come in and hold a leg.
How many legs are there?
Yeah.
Take turns.
Would you like to know?
Well, he's got multiple tentacles. That's why he asked. He's
Yeah.
like, what are these leg things?
Ah.
How many do you have? Garrett, what do you got coming up?
Hey, I got a show on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday called Normal World. We are doing our last week of shows before the end of the year, doing our Christmas special on the 14th, I believe. We just had Adam Krigler on yesterday, so that was a fun episode. We talked about UFOs and stuff. We're going to continue doing that on Sunday for Forbidden Frontier.
Returns.
About some more
triumphant return this Sunday.
Stuff, yeah. It's returning.
Finally, God, I usually lurk in you guys' chat, so I love your shows.
Also on Sunday, Sunday Fun Day, where me, X-Ray Girl, Kara, and a ghost play video games. So we're also returning.
Yeah.
We're going to be playing on Sunday, and I'll be added a video for the Nerdrotic channel.
There you go. I actually
Go
know
watch the
what-
last video.
for the first time ever, unless Elon tells Bob to fuck off again or something. I actually know all the videos for the rest of the year. I have them all in my head, planned, ready to go. That's never happens, like, ever. But it's kind of quiet.
It's usually like the day of. It's like, hey, we're going to make this video. Okay.
Yep. That could still happen, by the way. So, MauLer, what do you got coming up?
Well, I mean, it's just the thing I was mainly announcing. I actually, funnily enough, because the editing is a tough job to get completed in time, I've been set on like portions of it. And I've just finished up doing basically all of Helm's Deep, and you guys are gonna like it. You chatters out there. We have exactly the kind of coverage you'd probably want us to have, while also being able to watch, all the clips of Lord of the Rings side by side with it. So it's gonna be fun. That'll be tomorrow and then a week. You know what I mean? 8 days. If we can get it out in time, which will require all of us not to sleep for a good week. So I will try.
You can do it. We don't bring up Rings of Power that much. Fucking A.
Not well. Better download a bunch of fucking Rings of Power clips.
Yeah.
Dude, watching me kill that fucking ice troll again. It's so badly
We
edited.
had to bring it up. It's like, oh, that came from the hair of an ice troll. Those came from the tears of an ice troll. I killed it under 10 seconds. Is that Pearl? Is she on TV?
What?
What?
I don't know. We couldn't even see your camera to see what you're looking at.
Just hit the button on the camera to turn it back on.
It
'cause
looks
I'm
like
listening
Pearl. No, it's on. It's. I don't know if it's
It's
real
a-
TV. It looks. Think before you sleeps. Tweet.
That corn pop.
Sorry, a corn pop.
Pop.
Kind of
Is
looks like.
Oh, that was from a
Pearl on
while
TV?
ago. That was
Okay.
a while ago. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is. Whatever. She's dumb. I know Chrissy likes her though. You guys are like buds.
Love her. I'm gonna break her. We're gonna be friends.
Is that where you always make friends? You have to break them first.
Yeah. Are they like horses? You gotta break.
Like glow sticks. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe you could knock some sense into her, in a
Once
way.
their spirits are destroyed.
Level her out.
Yeah. Like a fight would be good. I'd be into that.
She'll come around. She'll come around at 30, I think.
Wait a minute. She's not 30.
I mean, she's close.
She looks
When the ball
40.
hits.
27.
She looks 42. That's some hard
Ball
living.
hit her a while ago.
That's some hard living. Disparu, what do you got coming up, buddy?
Yeah, I just did a video today on the actors strike. Then what's coming up? There might be Doctor Who. There's definitely going to be something about Zegler and the Little Mermaid doing an interview together. How could I miss that? That is pure gold right there.
It really is. It's 40 minutes long, buddy.
Hey, I mean, there's got to be a video in it. I've not even seen it yet.
Oh, there's probably 10
But-
videos in it.
I am like that. That is the stars aligning in the sky, beaming down on YouTube, and be like, you need to do something about this. So looking about. Also, I do Geeks and Gamers on Thursday, tabletop D&D, and there's an interesting thing. Yesterday, I sold you on a Rudai being ritually humiliated in a maid's outfit. And then he's actually convinced X-Ray Girl to also join him in a maid's outfit, which is a stroke of genius.
It
now,
is.
X-Ray Girl did say...
no, because I
X-Ray Girl
benefit from this.
X-Ray Girl said that she gets to choose the maid's outfit, and she started saying brands which were so astronomically priced. I didn't
wait a
know
minute. You're going
that
to
this
Geeks and
was physically
Gamers
possible.
with the maid's outfit, not here?
Geeks and
You're buy me the
Where are your
outfit that I
loyalties,
want.
woman?
Geeks and Gamers,
Are you
Geeks
buying
and
me a
Gamers
maid's
tabletop. It's D&D. If you want to see D&D with X-Ray Girl in a maid's outfit, a very expensive maid's outfit that's probably going to bankrupt the channel, then
That's good. Now
that channel.
Yeah,
it's based on subscribers.
If Az
so I
ever
need you to
regenerates,
subscribe.
I'm going to put him in a maid's outfit. That's it.
Oh yeah.
You'd probably do that too.
He's probably in one right now.
You're right.
That's what he does for fun. That's why he needed a month off.
That's why he needed to month off. Yeah.
Pretty close.
That is really something.
That is so good. All right. Let's see if I can get back on camera. So, book coming out. I said that.
Just hit the button on the camera.
Doctor Who coming out? Nope. Hey, there we go.
Hey.
Yeah, the next video is probably going to be Doctor Who. I'm doing the live viewing for members tomorrow, 12:20 Pacific time. A couple live streams I wanted to shout out coming up. Sometime around December 14th or 15th, Ryan and I are going to be talking about, anybody who wants to join, Reacher Season 2, which premieres. So we're going to do a live stream after it airs. They're doing the first 3 episodes on the 15th. Of course, I'm going to make everybody watch Rebel Moon on the 21st. Comes out on the 21st at 7 p.m. on Netflix. And then, of course,
that's like midnight.
On December 17th, we're going to do the Return of the King 20th anniversary live stream. And also our Christmas live stream that we always do. That's become a bit of a tradition. We're going to do that one as well. We're going to track Santa like we do. Track Santa. Yeah, we actually do that.
Great.
Talk about stuff. Talk about stuff. Maybe even tacos. Maybe even eat tacos. I don't know.
You could set out some tacos for Santa instead of
Yeah, there you go. There you go. But thank you again to the wonderful fellowship. You came out in Wisconsin. You came out at LA. You always come to the show. We are eternally grateful. You are the hope I have in fandom and life, and we really appreciate you. Thanks to the Nerdrotics. Thank you. You guys are always great. Thanks to everyone who left a super chat and donation. Again, gaming square up Monday night. And more gaming towards the end of the year. So thanks for being here, and we'll see you next week with MauLer and Disparu.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Cheers, everyone.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
God damn, Gary. Some serious gourmet What flavor is this? That's right, it's the all-hell medium roast private blend. Check out the Geek Grind Coffee Nerdrotic page for our other options like the Decadent, Feathers of Liberty, vanilla-infused flavored coffee. Or if you're looking for something darker, try the Dark Roast FNT blend of the Fellowship. You know what? Just buy all 3. GeekGrindCoffee.com. Use discount code Nerdrotic.
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come.